Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody, however you happen to be watching or listening. I want to welcome you to the Gaming Circle podcast, the podcast where even though there's some construction going on, oh, the news gods may not be kind to us, but we're still doing it live. We're still here. We're still giving you all the news goodness on the weekend, as you've come to expect from us. I am your host, Mr. TKO Asante, K Asante, Twitter, Xbox, PlayStation, everywhere you can find me. Yes, it's true. We were off last week because life happens, and life is still happening. But the show must go on. So we're back this week with a wonderful guest, and we'll introduce him first. If you know anything about these gaming streets, this man needs no introduction, but we'll give him one anyway. He probably gives himself a better introduction than anybody else could because how he describes himself is unique, let's just say. from from the Xbox International podcast. And if you happen to be following this man on Twitter, you may have seen him in various stages of interesting behavior, we'll call it. The crazy one himself, Mr. Crazy Lou Gaming. Welcome, good sir. Thank you so much for joining us. How you doing today?
Oh, me? I'm extremely excited. I mean, look, I'm with Captain Jacob Keys here today. Oh man, yes, sir.
We're gonna start that early, aren't we? Okay.
Oh
Okay.
yeah, oh yes, we are, Captain. I mean, I'm really happy that I'm in the show with Captain Jacob Keys because I have a question for him though later on in the
Uh-huh.
show, and I want to ask him why does he always have to
Oh, there,
listen?
there will be the Halo review block, by the way. We'll get there.
Oh,
Don't worry. We'll get to the Halo review block.
I just want to know what you saw in Halsey.
Stop it. You know what? Before we get down the slanderous path, let us introduce the slanderous one, okay? Let's introduce the slanderous one. As we do every week on this show, I am joined by my brother from another mother, the man who's known as my evil twin, the one out there on Twitter being more Al Bundy than Al Bundy was in the
He's
90s.
giving out free shoes. They happen to
Mr. Everborn Saga. What's going
Put 'em
on, good sir?
What's happening? What's happening? First of all, before we get to me, I want to shout out to the amazing chat. We got Slow Mo, we got Jerry
Oh,
Mack,
indeed.
we got Mr. Joanna Dark, we got Beast Mode. Thank
Yes,
you
sir.
for,
Welcome,
for,
gentlemen.
for
Welcome.
joining us every week. You guys make the show.
Sour Blow Gaming in here. We
Yep.
got Mr. Joanna Dark. We have Xbox Internationals pulling up and showing up for their boy. So welcome.
There we go.
Congratulations. Thank you guys so much. Congratulations on the great show you guys do and all your great guests that I see you guys having on every week. I do hear Prince Voldemort will be on the show next week. So I'm excited about that
Yeah.
one.
One. So 1 minute, real quick. I just want to take back everything I said about the chat. Screw you guys. All
Uh-oh.
the Sonic hate going on.
Uh-oh. Oh no.
You guys can leave right now.
Yeah.
Goddamn.
Yep. The second man is gonna join us next week, and I already have I already have a song. I already have a song going on for him. It's called
Okay.
Here it goes. Sega Man, the
Oh,
one
boy.
who wants Microsoft to purchase.
Oh
That's
boy.
the-
Great song.
Slogan.
This is a great song. I think
Great song, right?
That's how it starts, right? You're gonna write the rest of it later.
I need a Grammy nomination for that. At least Slow-Mo is acknowledging the greatness of the Sonic 2 movie. At least that's the least he could do.
But here's the thing, though. You need to understand, though, everyone, which is true. The only good thing Sonic is doing is his movies. On his games, well, we gotta ask, though. We wonder about that.
Wait till Sonic Frontiers.
Okay.
Banger.
All right,
Once
ladies
a
and gentlemen,
decade, and we're about 10 years since the last good one. So
we are now going to escape the Sega podcast. Don't worry. And we're also going to escape the Elden Ring podcast. That's coming up. Don't worry. That's coming
what
up.
I was playing with.
But you know what? We will start this as we always do, as Mr. Everborn Saga just alluded to, as the games that we have been playing. And you know what? Before we devolve, I'll start. I'm starting this time.
Real quick, before you
Go
start,
ahead.
Mr. Joanna Dark says Sonic should be sold to 10 cents. Son of a
Ooh.
Oh.
But you know what? Hey, man. Hey. I'm just saying, in the world of the gas game and, you have your other platform holders might be a little bit busy with regulatory bodies. 10 cents out here. I'm just saying.
It's funny. It's funny how every time you read articles about purchasing and stuff, they only mention Microsoft and PlayStation, but nobody talks about Tencent.
or any of the others, the big money makers out
what's the
there.
other?
Yes,
There's one more I forgot. It starts with an E. I think it is.
Embracer.
All I'm
Embracer. Yes,
saying
nobody
is
talks about
don't
those two.
put that
Mhm.
evil into the
Into this
universe.
world. Indeed. Okay.
No,
Real quick, as you can see, I have been playing. What you're looking on your screen right now is Ali Ali World. If anybody is familiar with it, Ali Ali was a franchise, came out some time ago. Indie franchise, mainly synonymous with the Switch. But what most people don't, of course, that's how they tend to do it, right? Market mind share. It's on everything, but most people always equate it with the Switch. As you guys all know, I am knee deep in Steam Deck land, so I'm always trying to find new games to play, new interesting things that came out. This happened to have come out right at that time, so I'm playing this on my Steam Deck. I see Slow Mo in the chat. Please, good sir, when you get a chance to drop that review, let us know your first impressions of the Steam Deck. I've talked about it on the show. I will continue to talk about it on the show. It's a great device. I love it. We're not going to get into that. When Everborn Saga gets his in the year 3000, maybe he'll agree with me. Until then, he thinks it's terrible and it's not for anybody. I get it. It's fine. So as you can see, great game. If you are one of those people who are into the old school Tony Hawks, if you're into the old school, if you like that kind of aesthetic where there's a lot of fluff around it, but it's all about just cool skateboarding.
I'll
Pulling
tell you
off
what,
tricks.
though. I'll tell
That's
you
what this game is.
Hey,
Go ahead. Yeah.
Looks like they got the hair right. So
already
bro,
up
in that
brother, man, you see it. Yes, the customization is pretty good. It's not like it could be better, right? It could be better. It's not like the new what do you call it, Saints Row, but we ain't going there, right? It's not like them where if you black, you're getting an afro or cornrows and shutting your mouth. That's all you're getting. But it's getting there. But yes, so this is what I've been playing. This as well as a bunch of other stuff. Like we could get into it. I've been playing Portal 2, a bunch of other stuff.
Why y'all gotta mention that? Because right now, when you guys were talking about the whole South Park thing, the South Park video game idea.
This keeps ringing in your head, right? Yup. I know the one you're talking about too. Yes, sir. All right, so let's devolve into the Elden Ring podcast for a moment. Go ahead, everyone. Tell me the latest boss you defeated. And I do recall you actually did find a cool new method that most people didn't know about how to defeat some of the bosses. Go ahead, man. What's the latest and greatest in the world of Elden Ring?
So, as you know, I've been on a 2, maybe 3 week stint of trying to beat the cheating SOB that is otherwise named the Fire Giant, right? And I was telling Slow-Mo the other day that you're really fighting the camera more than you are fighting that boss. The boss is easy. It's so horribly designed, that boss specifically, that it makes it very difficult to fight it. So anyway, I spent so much time trying to do it, leveled up. And to answer your question, I have not beat the game yet. I was stuck here, and I put the game down for maybe a week or two while we built the deck in the back. So now the deck is just about done. We're waiting for the jacuzzi to get here, and then we're fully.
Yeah, you heard that right. Mr. Everborn Saga is building a back deck and a jacuzzi in cold New York, so he can enjoy himself for 2 weeks out of the year. Good job, sir.
I will be in the jacuzzi with a North Face.
With a North Face.
Oh man.
But anyway,
the man's gonna start streaming from the jacuzzi. He's gonna put it right.
As long as he does that.
I told my manager at work I'm gonna start joining calls from the deck.
From the deck of the jacuzzi.
But anyway, so Elden Ring Fire Giant. I got the dragon's breath by that big dragon that's just laying there and he takes up like half of the map. And you can kill him.
You can kill him.
Yep. I killed him. You get 5 hearts, dragon hearts from him. And there's an altar at one of the cathedrals in Khalid where you can get some power. So I ended up getting the dragon's breath. And then I used it on him. It's not dragon's breath. Sorry. Rotten breath. So basically it inflicts rot, which is the same thing as like blood loss or anything like that. And I beat him in his first form, but the last hit that I gave him was with the rotten breath. Like it finally took effect. So when some of these things take effect, whether it's blood loss or scarlet rot, it'll take away a big lifespan. So if you do that and that's the last thing you hit him with, apparently there's a bug or something, maybe it was designed that way, where it will just kill their entire second half. So it's like they're allergic to it. And I heard someone say it's not just the fire giant, it is all bosses that have 2 phases you can do this to. So until
basically, so that I understand correctly, Everborn, what you're saying is you fought Frieza, and when he got to his final form, you slipped him a Mickey, and he died right away. Is that the case?
That's exactly.
Interesting.
And I don't regret it either, and I'll do it again because they were already cheating with that boss. So if I got to use a cheat to get them, it's only well deserved.
You know what, Everborn? It's funny you bring this up, and we're not going to make this the Everborn, the Elden Ring podcast. Yeah, I know. And oddly enough, for those who may not know, the crazy one, Mr. Crazy Lou Gaming, is a great FromSoft gamer, so he can join in this conversation as well. But there's this epiphany that you and I have been, as we've been going back and forth. There's this epiphany I've had. I want to know your opinion on it, Lou. I honestly think when we first started playing these games, and Everborn and I approached this from non-FromSoft gamers' perspectives, right?
Oh, we hated this thing at first.
Yeah, you are in there, right? And we came to it from the other side of the looking glass, and we're just like, we don't understand this. This is crazy. Here's my epiphany, and you tell me if I'm Captain Obvious and where's my cape, or if something's going on here, okay? Yeah. We started discovering what you would call cheeses, right? People call them cheeses. Oh, if you go and you farm this animal, like for X amount of hours, you get you can level up and be easy. Oh, if you go and you avoid this rock that keeps falling, it keeps, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. We were discovering these little cheesy ways.
Oh, you haven't found the one with the hill yet.
Let me get there.
So you go over that mountain. Okay, I'll tell you. We'll talk
about it later. So all of that is in there, right? And now Everborn is also discovering how to cheese bosses with almost like built-in bugs, right? Where he's hard, he's hard, he will kick your butt. But if you find that cheese, it's easy as pie. I honestly think, and here's my theory here, this is all part and parcel of the FromSoft experience. Am I wrong?
It's a feature, not a bug.
It's a feature, not a bug. Am I wrong, Crazy Lou? Because it seems to me that there are too many of these seemingly obscure bug-like things that are scattered throughout the entire game in every system. Whether it be your level up system, even the bosses have cheeses that are hidden that you wouldn't know. If you don't know it, you'll spend 30 times getting beat up by him. But the minute you discover that cheese, boom, he's nothing. You know what I mean? I honestly think this is a game about discovering the cheeses. What do you think?
Here's the thing though. Like for example, like if we get like I saw this one on YouTube where you die and then you gotta jump like around and you go around it and you get inside the boss and the boss just stands still. That's a bug. We all know that's a bug. That's a bug. Yeah. That's a bug. Or like I think it was back in the day with Sekiro, right? Like if you stand behind there's big fire monster. Like if you jump up somewhere, the fire monster would just run down off the cliff. I did that one, of course. Oh yeah, I did that one. But yeah. Those are pretty much bugs, to be honest with you. Sometimes, but the thing is that people don't understand about this game is it's all about strategy, and you need to learn. Like for example, the boss has like 3 different types of like when you first start, you see like the easy part, right? Then when he goes down the middle, he gets like in rage mode, and there's like a couple more new attacks, right? And when they go into those new attacks, you got to learn them too. So you'll die a couple times. But yeah, once you got all the combinations down and everything, it's pretty much the same thing. And it becomes easier for you at the end, because that's what happens. You just got to keep on watching them. But the thing is, the problem with this game is that people just say, hey, man, I'm here. I am level 500. Let me go face this guy. You may be level 500, but if he takes a swing at you with something hard, he's gonna kill you in one shot.
He'll kill you right away. Yeah. And that makes me feel like they give you, and I'll let you speak, everyone. Forgive me. It makes me feel like they use the level up system to give you a false sense of security. Sometimes you could be level 99999. If you don't watch your back, you're gonna get smoked, right? But the game does have. As you should, yes, as you should. You should never be a god. You should never be the Neo of that world,
Yep.
right? You will always there's always a chance for you to get owned, right?
Yeah.
But it seems there are too many since they threaded that needle so well. I refuse to believe that all those seeming bugs are
But
bugs.
but like for example, the rock thing, that is not a
Yeah.
bug. That is not a bug. That's
Mm.
that right there. You discovered something, and because
Yeah.
if it was a bug, they would have gone back and fixed it.
I mean,
But it's not a
last
bug.
point. Remember the? Have you guys seen this video where some dude beat Elden Ring and like and I'm going to devolve a little bit, but follow me here. Remember, we on this show we talked about how much I disliked Metroid, the new Metroid, because they
Yeah,
have walls that look like they shouldn't be broken, but you can break them, right? It
yeah,
seems like Elden Ring has that too. They have
yeah.
places where there are walls that look normal, everything's absolutely normal, but you can
Hmm.
break them, right? And in the game, obviously, you go through that throughout the course of play. There has
Hmm.
been a YouTube video of a dude who has beaten the game. Obviously, if you break the wall once, twice, three times, it breaks. You can see it breaking. This dude literally spent the time on one wall, and you see it like sped up for like 3 minutes hitting the same wall before it broke. How would you hit the same wall for 3 minutes? Like over and over and over and over and over and over and over. And then it broke. And when it broke, behind it was a whole new area that he discovered. I'm just like,
But
how would anyone know that?
you're not supposed to. That's the beauty of it,
That's
right?
the
It's
beauty. Yeah.
about discovery. So I think that to me, the game is about learning the game's systems and
Hmm.
using its systems against itself
Yeah.
Mm.
to win. Right?
Yeah.
It's like capitalism, right? But
Nicely done. But boom.
yeah,
But
no. Or you could just say they shipped a buggy ass game. But I think there's
no.
beauty in.
There's too many in there. There's too many
No,
of those
because
strategic bugs for it to be on purpose, to
No,
be
what
not
I'm
on
saying
purpose.
is, I think there's beauty in the imperfection,
here's the thing about
right?
Elden Ring that people have not understood, because it gets to me all the time. I've always wanted to log into Elden Ring and just run,
Run around in the world.
run around the world. That's what I like to do,
Hmm.
and just go around, discover, see what's here, see what's there. Okay, let's see this, let's see that. And also, again, you got two modes, because daytime mode is one, and then there's nighttime mode. Like for
Mm.
example, nighttime mode, you're probably running around, and all of a sudden this huge boss comes out of nowhere. You're like, who the hell is this bastard? Out of
Hmm.
nowhere, it
Hmm.
just came out. And that's the thing with Elden Ring. It's just a game to discover. Like you said, 3 minutes hitting a wall. Wow, that's pretty cool. Now I'm
Hmm.
curious. I want to see that, because Elden Ring is all about discovering, getting better weapons, getting this, getting that, finding a way to do this way, finding a way to do this that way.
See,
It's easy.
what's interesting to me about it is most other game developers would put that breakable wall in, but it would be like a 30-second. You touch it and you'll see something changing,
Yeah.
just to kind of give you that. Hey, keep going. You're doing this right. Here's a secret. Elden Ring, they're like, screw that, man. You're just gonna have to keep breaking walls, and maybe you're lucky, maybe you're not. You may never discover this. I bet
But
you
again,
10 years from now, we will discover somebody will go, did you know that if you break this wall at this moment, you'll get to this? Like, it's crazy the level of secrets
but
that are
again,
in that thing.
I think that that lends to the
Yeah.
longevity of the game. Meaning,
Yeah.
and we talked about this before. There are entire communities and YouTube channels created around
Dedicated for that purpose.
finding
Yep.
these things. And
Mhm.
for a game that is a single player experience for the most part, I'm not even calling this multiplayer with all that finger bullshit
Yeah.
you have
Yeah.
to do. But for a game that is basically a single player experience, it's really operating with the same level of engagement as a service-based game when you look at the content that is made around it.
Absolutely
So between
right. Yep.
streamers and YouTube channels to find cheeses like that is the beauty of it. And I hope people take the right lessons from this, but we know they won't.
Yeah.
But it is good to see this is how you make this kind of game, and it's really like, it's like Morrowind and Skyrim vibes, right? It's the last time I felt like this about a game. So
and it's apt you say that, because their big competitor for Game of the Year this year will be creators of Skyrim. We'll see how Starfield competes to this craziness that's going on. But you know what, Crazy Lou? Let's
Yeah.
let's get into the game you've been playing. Are you also all day, every day
Oh
Elden
wait,
Ring right now, or
one last
oh
thing.
oh
I
oh? Go ahead,
also
Elvon.
on top of the fire giant because I spent so much time trying to beat him and leveling up to beat him the right way and all that. I got to the Godskin duo. I was so OP from being stuck on the fire giant that I beat them on the first try. Like it wasn't even difficult.
Wasn't trying to skip Oblivion there, everybody. Everybody's idol, Goro. Wasn't the point. I actually love Oblivion. Can't go back to it now though, because it needs a remake. But it was one of my
Wait, it
favorites
was
back when.
Oblivion, then Morrowind, then Skyrim,
Then Skyrim, yeah.
Yep.
was it Morrowind, then Oblivion,
You know,
then Skyrim?
No, I
can't
think it
remember.
was Morrowind, then Oblivion, then Skyrim.
the other day I was confused because I always confused Oblivion with Skyrim, and I had a story about what happened to me in Oblivion, thinking it was Skyrim. I have
It was
never played
Skyrim,
Skyrim.
yeah.
I never played
Hey,
Skyrim.
Slow-Mo says that there's what do you call it? Well, it's a difficult fight. I get it wasn't difficult for me, but only because I wasted so much time on the fire giant trying to level up to beat him. I was 167 when I fought the Godskin duo. So and my great sword was leveled up to a god killing weapon. So
now are you now using magic, or are you still just
No, I don't
being
use
completely?
magic. I just slap people in the face.
Yes, you're using magic. Don't be like one of those guys that says they don't use magic. Yeah, you do. Do you summon some guys to help you? Yeah, you do.
I use the
Come
mimic
on.
tier.
That's magic, of course.
Not really. It's
Yes,
not
it
really.
is.
Oh, so cloning yourself to come help you is not magic?
I don't think so.
Yes,
It's a different thing.
How much?
Yeah, listen. You know what? Let's transition here.
Okay.
Let's transition here because Mr. Everborn is talking about how cloning is science and not magic. There,
Exactly.
Dr.
Exactly.
Halsey.
There we go. One quick thing. Slow-Mo says that Starfield will lose. And this
It's
is
known.
Do you think that is because Starfield is not fully multi-plat the way Elden Ring is?
No, if what he's saying is true, in my opinion, which it could be, I think it's because of the stankonia that comes with, oh, they're now Microsoft's product.
Okay.
That to me, that's what's counting against them right now.
Okay, you think it's the Microsoft tax that they
without no one even seeing the game, right? Bethesda has their tact where, if God Howard, shout out to Living Split Screen going on right now, if God Howard is doing it, right, it'll be magic. There's that contingent, right? Then there's the other contingent that's going, well, if Microsoft is touching it, the QA must be trash. Oh, the game must not be good. Oh, it must be. All of that is playing in the soup right now, whereas Elden Ring got to give you its first impression just by giving you its first impression. So I do agree with Slow-Mo that because it's a known commodity and because people have their perceptions coming into it, that may work against it. We shall see, because no one's actually seen the game.
I tell you, it's definitely not going to win.
No, but here. Oh, all right.
Stop. Get the slander out your mouth, brother.
No.
Go ahead, Crazy Lou.
No, because here's the thing about Elden Ring. I mean, like you guys said, you guys are not From Software fans, right? You guys were saying that.
We started off not for some
game.
Yeah.
I've never played Sekiro.
But here's the thing, though. This game is bringing you guys back into it and brings you back and brings you back and brings you back and brings you back, because that's the thing with Elden Ring. And for me, like for me as of now, for me, it's the game of the year. Why? Because it's a game where every time you pop in, you just want to roam around, and it's hard to find today an open world game where you just want to roam around. Just to let me roam around.
May I present a game with an open world game that you can roam around? Like,
who's gonna say
one came out.
I'm gonna say Tunic.
No, I'm not.
Okay.
One came out, and it is the perfect, capital P, perfect roam around open world game. But the unfortunate nature with this open world game is it didn't make the best first impression. What game am I choosing? I'll let the chat pick.
Are you
one
talking
guess
about Cyberpunk?
Exactly, good sir. Exactly.
Okay.
But
the best roam around world game ever.
But
I don't think
wait,
Cyberpunk
wait.
holds a candle to Elden Ring.
No.
And I
Well,
don't
but
really
you know what?
Wait, no. That wait a minute.
I disagree with you. I think
I'm not-
Cyberpunk is better.
Wait a minute.
You don't got enough hours in Elden Ring, sir.
No.
To be
Wait.
I have at least 60 hours. I think that determines. That's not enough, Mr. Gatekeeper over here.
Apparently, it's not enough.
No.
Show me your achievements, player, before I talk to you.
Listen. I'll make this is gonna be a comparison. You take, for example, Witcher, right? And on the Ring, it's the same, pretty much the same thing. Because Witcher, what did you do in Witcher most of the time? You wanted to move around and discover new stuff, discover caves, fight monsters, play Gwent. You wanted to do all that stuff in Witcher. It's pretty much like Elden Ring. In the Ring, you just don't have the Gwent, you just don't have this. But what you want to do is roam around, discover new things, get new weapons. That's it. You also do the same thing as Witcher. You won't get tired of it. So as you mentioned, Cyberpunk, hell yeah, I agree with you there. Cyberpunk it's got to be a huge. I haven't played it yet because I know it's gonna consume me into it because I love CD Red Project games. And so I can imagine that. Of course, it's got to be a huge. I mean,
the reason why I would respectfully disagree with you on the differences between Elden and Cyberpunk. Yeah. I think the reason why that there's a difference there, and I'm open to being challenged, but I think it's because Elden Ring, the discovery is the game. Yeah, the discovery is the actual game. Whereas Cyberpunk, they tried to tell you a story. They made an effort to tell you a story. That's right. Except the fact that in Elden Ring, they're telling you a story too if you want to hear them. Right? Yeah, if you don't want to hear them, you can walk around Elden Ring aimlessly for hours, enjoy the hell out of yourself, and nobody will tell you what the story is about.
For example,
it's not a movie, right? The main thing should be walking around to play.
Of course. The main thing should be that. Although the reason for my challenge is I think Cyberpunk, like even if you don't like the game, even if you put X amount of hours, you put 10 hours into Cyberpunk, then you put 10 hours into Elden Ring, and out of nowhere, you didn't know what Cyberpunk was, you didn't know what Elden Ring was, take the difficulty out of the equation, all of that. If I asked you what your 10 hours was, the 10-hour playthrough was in Elden Ring, in Cyberpunk, you'll tell me a bunch of stuff. I went and I stole a car and I did this and I did that and I did this and I met Keanu Reeves and I did this and I did that. You may not be able to tell me a single thing you did in Elden Ring because that obscure nature fights against it. I'm not saying that's a bad thing because it's a different game for different audiences, right? No. But to me, honestly, if you've spent enough time in the Cyberpunk world, it is seriously a game that screw V, screw what do you call it? The other character, Johnny Silverhands' character. You just want to roll a new character, RPG style. What do you call it? Skyrim style generic protagonist and just live in that world. It's that good, right? Whereas Elden Ring, it seems like everything they're doing there is to facilitate your discovery. Cyberpunk is having their world, whether you're in it or not. You know, there are people roaming around doing crazy stuff. There are people getting into gunfights that you have nothing to do with. You'll either show up and either help or not, or just sit there with popcorn and watch and see what happens. You know what I'm saying? And Elden Ring has that too. Elden Ring has that too.
So I hear you, right? Mm-hmm. But this is not. I don't want this to. I don't like. So I don't.
We'll move forward after this. Go ahead, make your point.
Yeah, I don't want to like crap on Cyberpunk because I really like the game.
No, I love it. I think it's great.
A lot of people who complain about it but never play it, right? But that being said, Cyberpunk, as interesting as the world was when the story was done, I felt no need to go back to it.
Did you finish the story?
Of course I finished the story.
See, that's the thing. I got to the very end, to the very last mission where they go, hey, if you got anything else to finish up, now's the time. And then I went, nope. And so I'm literally there at that very last minute. I could finish that last story. I'm choosing not to because there's just so much to do in the world. But I do agree with you and I do understand you that if I had finished it and gotten to the ultimate ending, I may be like, okay, I'm done now. I'm not touching this anymore.
Yep.
You know,
That's what happens.
So you never beat the game?
I'm at the very last mission.
I'm pulling your card, sir.
You can pull my card.
Oh.
I bet you. If we check hours played, I have more hours played in it than, and I haven't beaten the very last mission because I love the world that much.
Yeah,
you know,
that's more than 100 hours.
That's the thing.
More than 100 hours. I have almost 300 some odd hours in that game.
I got about 100 hours in it, but still didn't beat it.
It's the same thing. It's the same thing with Elden Ring. I mean, you just want to, like I said, you want to roam around. If you're gonna play Cyberpunk and just focus on the story, you're gonna beat the story. You're just gonna miss out on the whole great stuff the game has. And it's the same as Witcher. When I play Witcher, I would just wanted to. I said, screw the story. Let me do the side missions. Let me do this. Let me do that. Let me just have fun with this game. Let me go play Gwent. Let me go discover this new place. Let me go do this. That's what I love about Witcher. And this is what Elden Ring brings to me. And also, I had not played Cyberpunk again, but I can imagine it's pretty much like that. You want to roam around, but the good thing is this time, which is something I complain a lot about Elden Ring. Like you go to Elden Ring, you talk to this lady, she's like, "Hey, when you talk to Paula, tell her to come to tell her I said hi." Okay. Mm-hmm. So you're like, who the hell is Paula? And you run around this whole damn game looking for a damn Paula, and you don't even know where the hell she is.
See, I disagree with you, Crazy Lou. I'll take your analogy even further. You'll walk around and you'll see a finger, and they'll say, "Take the finger to the shrine of grace," right? And they'll throw pronouns at you. And you'll know not a damn thing of what is being said,
exactly. Yes,
right. Yes. Whereas at least in Cyberpunk, say what you will about how they doled the story out, you'll get, hey, here's a samurai sword. Hey, the Maelstrom gang is over there causing some static. How about you go over there? If you help them solve the problem, the police will give you some money, for helping them solve the. It makes more sense and it's more approachable because they're using words that everybody can understand, whereas Elden Ring is trying to help you figure out what the finger will do. You know what I'm saying?
The finger will do or whatever. Just and then you have to go on YouTube and say, okay, who the hell is Paula? Where am I going to find her? Because it doesn't tell you go to Paula.
Although that part of it, that go to the YouTube part of it. I do agree with Everborn on that part, that it is genius because that is the way you turn a single player game into a multiplayer game. Go ahead.
I'll be right back. I got to get something from the front door.
Go for it, brother. No worries. Go for it. But yeah, I agree with Everborn on that part because that's what turns a single player game that would just be you playing by yourself into a community game that everybody's talking about.
Yeah, because that's the thing though, because you get lost sometimes in that game because there's so much to do, right?
Yeah.
But then, there's the other day somebody told me, "Have you done the side missions from other?" I'm like, "What side missions?" I was like, "Which side missions?" Because not only that, there's nothing that gives you a hint, "Oh, you got to go talk to Paula. You got to do this."
Exactly.
There's nothing on there. You got to have that in your head.
Yes. See, and what you're describing there, Lou, that's where Everborn is saying that we're afraid. Yeah. We hope that the industry takes the right lessons from that. Because they could take the wrong lessons from that. Since they're so successful at this way, they could be firing all of their narrative designers, all of their quest givers, and just being like, "Well, Elden Ring made it work. We'll just give you obtuse, obscure ridiculousness and hope you figure it out." That's what we're afraid of.
That's something that pisses me off from Elden Ring. I'm like, Elden Ring, at least put like a thing. Okay, you got your main missions, your side missions, right?
Yeah.
Just have something that so you can okay, I gotta go talk to Paula. Have you talked to Paula? Because maybe I did talk to Paula and I did not know who the hell she was because when I talked to this person, it was like 20 hours ago, and I totally forgot about who Paula is. Because that's another thing. You talk to this person right at the beginning of the game.
Yep.
And then when you're 40, 50 hours in, you finally meet Paula. You're like, "Hey, Paula." I was like,
And you don't remember what you were supposed to say to Paula because there's no quest log to remind you of what was to be said to Paula. Just ridiculous. But you know what? Enough of the Elden Ring slander. Let us move forward. But before we do, I will first off like to once again thank the chat. There's a rigorous conversations going on in the chat. Lots of great people in the chat. My PTG brethren, Mr. Cyber Knox is in here, and he is of course defending my honor when Mr. Everborn Saga was trying to pull my card about not finishing Cyberpunk. He said, "How about you go play GTA 5 for a good story, good sir?" He's not here to defend himself. Let me fill you in, Crazy Lou. He has never played Grand Theft Auto 5.
He has never played that.
Ever.
Man,
I don't even think he's ever played Grand Theft Auto 4.
Don't tell me he's one of those guys just goes for the multiplayer stuff.
He's never even touched it, but that's neither here nor there. Let us move forward, good sir. Let me ask you what game you've been playing before we get out of here and start talking the news.
Okay. Well, what game I've been playing? Well, I've been playing a little bit of Resident Evil 8 on Twitch just to get people to come watch me and laugh.
People like watching you getting scared, huh?
Oh man, you can't believe that. The last time I played, I was at the Doll Mansion. Oh my god, I just don't want to go through that again.
Which is Resident Evil 7 or 8?
8. Resident Evil 8. Resident Evil 8.
So have you played 7?
Yeah, of course I've been 7. I beat all the Resident Evil games. There's not been one Resident Evil game I haven't beaten. Love them all.
And you've played them all. Okay, see.
Except for Code Veronica. Wow.
Oh, where's Saul Blow in here? He probably wanted to time you out real quick.
That's how I know. It's someone else that loves that Code Veronica game, except for that one.
Where's Mr. Joanna Dark? I'm sure they're like mad shaking their hands at the screen right Lance. Damn you!
Damn you! That's the only Resident Evil game I was like, okay, the only fun part about it was Chris Redfield. Other than that, nah.
Yeah, I remember that.
What game are we talking about?
Resident Evil, Code Veronica.
Okay.
We're talking about you never played GTA 5. That's bad.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And never will.
Yep. There you go. You see, so whenever we're talking gatekeepers, anytime he wants to pull anybody's card, all you gotta say is GTA 5 and then shut him up and move forward. That's just shut him up.
Try,
GTA 5.
GTA 5 holds no weight over my life.
What?
GTA 4 was the last one I played.
Man, it's a good one. Play it. You're gonna have fun, especially when you meet Trevor. Trevor's the best character in the whole game.
Team Nico all day.
But seriously, just play it. So you can use Trevor. When he gets drunk, you see him in his underwear and stuff like that. That's hilarious.
Not gonna do it.
Play it.
Not gonna do it.
Yeah, you're missing out. Also, you get to meet the naked people up in the hill. Oh, that's the best part of that game.
The naked people up in the hill.
Yeah. Okay. Oh man, yeah. Play it, man. Seriously, it's a fun game. Great story too. Great story.
All right. So, Mr. K. Asante.
I think K. Asante.
Oh, he's gone. Okay.
He's gone.
So
yeah.
All right. So we're 40 minutes into this thing, and we've been focusing on what we were playing. Now I think we should move on to some of the news stories. So where do we start here? Hold on a minute. I have a list of things to talk about here.
All right. If you want, you can start about the what was it? I think in the news, the PlayStation thing. Let me see real quick.
Okay, so PlayStation. Yeah, we can talk about that. Why not?
We can talk PlayStation. Right.
So there's this whole controversy about PlayStation requiring devs to create 2-hour demos for their terrible service. No, I'm joking. It's not terrible, but it is. It's something. So, what do you think? I have a take on this, and I need you and everybody in the chat to help me verify this. Is this 2-hour requirement for demos on everyone who publishes on the PlayStation Store, or just their first-party studios?
I think they're looking for everybody. They're requiring devs, or I think it's basically. I think for me, it's everybody. They're gonna require it for everybody, or probably some specific third parties that to make a demo just to get there. Probably like the good, like the most hyped ones, probably.
Well, the way it was reported was that it was anything over 30, whatever.
Which I have something to say about that, and really just it really annoyed the hell out of me.
I heard someone say that 36 or whatever actually equates to $60 because it is like 30 something wholesale. Yeah, so basically basically all $60 games and above, as I understand it. Now, here's the thing. Well, you go ahead. I think it is completely wrong-headed in the approach, but and I hope someone in the chat or you can talk me out of this, because it on the face of it, based on the information that we have, it doesn't sound good to me. But go ahead. What do you think about it?
Okay, for me, for example, okay, we all know that Sony does not have like the big bucks to face Microsoft in this whole service and thing right now, like how they're doing it, like they're putting games they want in there, stuff like that. They don't have that, right? Okay, we understand that right now, but something that they're doing wrong is they're only focusing on the big games. How about but where's the indie games, right? I mean, you need to promote the indie games, which right now for the industry they are really, really, really important. And if people have not noticed how much indie games are coming out, I mean, the other day we had a Dutchess Community Indie Show,
Which was amazing.
which was amazing, really fun. We saw so many games on there, which left us with our mouth open. We're like, wait, is that an indie game? So yeah, PlayStation. What about those guys? Because if okay, you want them to make a 2 hour demo. How about the guys from the indie games? I mean, make them have their demos too. If you pretty much put everybody in there, right? Then hey, it's I totally understand what you're doing. It's pretty cool, but you should put it for all tiers, not only the premium tier. Though. You got to put it for all tiers. That's the only thing that I totally disagree with.
So
Another thing, but yeah.
Here's the thing. I actually have a problem that it is paywalled in any tier, right? Because effectively, right, if we're saying that this is a requirement on the devs, like you have to make 2 hours of your game playable, you're putting that onus on the devs to provide value for your subscription service. But my question is, what do the devs get for doing this, right? So those demos are the added benefit of the top tier, the $18 a month tier, right? Or you can buy it at 1 year time, get it for $120, but $18 a month tier, right?
Yeah,
that's what you're getting, and that is of a benefit to Sony to offer to the subscribers of that service. But why are you forcing all of your partners, your third-party partners, to create value for your service? What is the profit participation that they get for this thing that you are requiring them to do? It's kind of like you're forcing them to make your service more valuable because you don't want to put your day-and-date games in there.
The profit that
that's kind of crazy to me.
The profit that they may get is that the person tries a 2 hour demo, likes the game, and buys it.
Yeah, but what if I'm a dev and I don't want to give them a 2 hour demo?
Then that's another thing though, because that detail has not gone out. But
and again, I would understand, right? I'd understand if it's like, okay, listen, we want all of our customers to have these demos. Try before you buy, but that's not really what it's about, right? It's not about providing that benefit to the customer, right? Because then it would be available to everyone. You'll say, if you're publishing in this store, a rule is you got to let people play the game for 2 hours, right? But they're not saying that. They're saying you have to let our premium customers try it for 2 hours so we can have something to sell them. And that in and of itself is, I don't know, I feel like it's fundamentally flawed, and it's kind of scumbaggery. I don't know. Somebody in the chat, tell me I'm wrong. I know you guys are arguing about what the definition of an RPG is, but tell me I'm wrong or I'm right.
But here's another thing though that people don't know. Like if you become like an Xbox Insider, right? You download the Xbox Insider program. You ever heard about that? Xbox Insider program. You get demos in there too, but you don't have to pay top tier. That's another thing though, which I find ridiculous. Like I said, if you're gonna try,
even then, it's not all of the games.
It's not all the games
decided to do it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Any developer that decides to do it, it's fine. Okay, so Slow-Mo says devs don't have to give them a demo. Exactly. Explain that more. I heard that it was like if it is above a certain price, they're asking them for this. So I don't know what's going on.
But that's
Zach.
Told y'all it's a crazy, crazy day. Forgive me. Electricity,
Right.
my house, internet, everything.
So
you
we're
guys.
talking about the demo situation.
Yeah.
There's conflicting reports of whether this is a requirement or not,
Okay.
or whether it's the PlayStation team or not. So I'm not.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
There was a little bit of back and forth, and if I recall, I actually spoke with Slow-Mo about it a little bit while we deliberated about it back and forth. But let us, for the purpose of, and I don't know how far you guys were talking. I want to respect what has already been said.
I got most of what I wanted to say. I don't know if Lou got what he wanted to say out.
No, but like we were talking about how it's they're requiring the devs to put 2 hours demos in there, stuff like that. And I was telling them that okay, if it's beyond 35, the price range of $35, right, which is when it always comes with probably the $60 games, stuff like that. And what I was saying though is, what about the indie games? I mean, you guys have not talked anything about the indie games, which right now are really important, and they actually do need to be shown everywhere, because
see, Lou, and I forgive me for cutting you off. I don't mean to do that, but I want to talk. What you're describing there, that is exactly something I wanted to touch on with you guys, right? Yeah. And let's have that conversation under the assumption that, hey, it could go either way, right? We don't know for sure. It could be PlayStation mandating it. It could be the team doing it. That's fine, right?
Hold on a minute. Before we continue, before you continue that thought. So you discussed this with Slow-Mo. Slow-Mo is saying that the devs don't have to do any additional work.
Yes.
It's the PlayStation Store team that is doing this. But again, if it is all games, Sony is taking that right away from the people who are publishing stores games in their store. So if somebody could correct that for me, can you opt out and say, I don't want a demo? If you can't opt out, that means Sony is basically using your stuff to create value for their service.
They're probably gonna make those demos NFTs for them. Shh, they're probably gonna do that.
Oh God!
No, but okay. In the world that Slow-Mo is saying that this is going to be at the responsibility of the PlayStation Store, right?
That's only one part of it. I need to know if the devs get to opt out. Meaning, if I'm a dev and I don't want a 2-hour demo, I don't want 2 hours free access to the game.
Yeah, that's true.
So, for example, if I only played Elden Ring for 2 hours, I would have been like, I'm returning this shit. I don't want it. I'm not buying it.
Yeah,
right? It takes more time to
understand what the Elden Ring is about.
Onboarding time is different depending on the game. And so you could leave a bad taste in customers' mouths if you haven't front loaded your onboarding to the first 2 hours. So again, I just want to know if devs can opt out, and if they can't, that's crazy to me.
See, and I know that nuance is always lost when we're talking about headlines, and Kotaku is notorious. But look at this headline. Just look at it, right? I'm sure the nuance is somewhere in the middle, right? I'm sure, hey, this team is doing this, that team is doing that. But literally, Sony is requiring some game devs to provide free trials. Really?
This is also Kotaku.
And it's also Kotaku. Yes, we've already like put that out there, and I will make sure I say that again, because we know that these people, like, not specifically Kotaku, but the media landscape in general, depending on what site you go to, is either left or right or this or that or the other. So you can obviously extrapolate from that what you will, but still, when Microsoft mandated FPS boost and all these other things, right? That came directly from their internal teams, and it was like transparent to the developer. The fact that this is even a factor in the equation, at best, tells me that the political capital that PlayStation has been spending like all this time enjoying themselves, never doing wrong in the eyes of the consumer and the media. If nothing else, that at least is wearing off because this headline is egregious. Even if the nuance tells you that hey, the PlayStation platform will take care of it for you, and that everything is good and you shouldn't have to worry about it. The headline is going for that, that famous Xbox headline that people have been consternating about for some time, right? They love to dump on Xbox generally, and this is a headline that's usually worthy of that and not PlayStation. So something's going on here, right? Usually you'd get more even-keeled rhetoric when something like this happens. But for some reason, somebody forgot to tell them this is PlayStation and not Xbox, and they're going hard.
So again, I just want somebody to clarify. Even if the PlayStation Store team is doing the work, are they forcing devs to have this 2-hour time?
Well, here's the question on that, right? And this is a genuine question from me because I don't know. If we can establish that it's not going to be work done by the developers, then where's the force? Or are you saying that by the very nature of them being on the platform, let's say you have the Everborn beat 'em up, they'll say, hey, if you want the Everborn beat 'em up in the PlayStation Store, you have to have a 2-hour demo. Don't worry, we'll take care of it for you. But that demo has to be there.
You have to create value for our service. What if I don't want, as a developer, the first whatever 2 hours they choose of my game to be in there? I just want to know if you can opt out. They should be able to opt out.
Well, I can tell you anecdotally, and this is not fact because we need to see the fact, but we do have experience in this realm with EA Play. And what I mean by that is usually EA Play gives you a 10-hour demo. Like 10 hours, that's a lot depending on the game. But follow me here. The 10 hours is presumably a lot, right? In a time to give a game, right?
Yeah.
So presumably you would have gotten the full experience that you want. A lot of people don't even play their games that they pay full price for 10 hours. They'll play for a couple hours and quit. Depending on the game, and this is anecdotal, but depending on the game, sometimes EA gives you a real demo or 10 hours of the real game. It depends on the game. I've seen games where you just get a timer and it's the real game and you can go through the whole thing and that's fine. Or certain games where it's like they know that 10 hours will give you too much of the game or it'll give you too much of the experience without paying. So instead they carve out an actual demo part. That's where I'm with you, Everborn. If you are a developer who says, hey, I get this whole 2-hour demo requirement thing, but my game is only 3.5 hours or whatever, I can't afford to do that. Yeah. Will they then insist that you then create your own demo if that 2-hour limit is too much for you?
No,
is there an insistence there?
So two things there. I don't think EA is a good comparison because everything in EA Play are EA games, right? Okay, this is so. If we said that they were doing this for their
that's not exactly true, but yes, for the purpose of this conversation, you're right. Yes, you're right.
If Sony said we're doing this for our first-party games, then cool, right? It's their games, they own them,
making it for everybody,
right? Yeah. So what I'm saying is, and these demos are not for everyone on the PlayStation Store. So it is not for the benefit of the customer. It is for the benefit of creating value for their service.
For their service,
Right. So that is the issue. And if I want to help you create value for your service, that's fine. But I should be able to opt out.
But remember, just one tier of their service, not their complete service, though. Because if it was for the complete service, then that's a whole other thing. But
I still think it needs to be for everybody, whether you're in the service or not.
Yep.
If it's a demo.
If it's a demo, okay, I agree with you too. Then they should do that too.
Kay, did you check your DM?
Yeah. I was just checking out what Slow-Mo was saying. He has shared with me a post from a senior reporter at Kotaku where he's saying that yes, it looks like they're doing the righteous thing. Which, in my humble opinion, here, if you're going to do a demo like this, the righteous way would be to institute it across the platform so the developer doesn't have to do a damn thing. It's just, hey,
But
here you
it's
are,
not
your
about
profile.
it's not about whether the developer has
It's
to
about
do anything.
choice. It's about
Can the
choice. It's about
developer
mandate.
opt
Yeah,
out?
Yeah, yeah.
but here's the thing, Everborn, because right now, before we're talking about years ago, right? Remember, the PlayStation Online was free. Now you actually do need Plus to play multiplayer games, right? So, like I said, well, it's like Xbox. You pay your gold because you know you need your gold, right? Some people don't, but like for example, the ones who just play the free to play games, they don't. But if you're gonna play more games or stuff, yeah, of course you're gonna pay your gold, you're gonna pay your Game Pass and all your stuff, and that's what PlayStation's trying to do to get you to pay for that stuff. But
Yep.
like I said, if you're gonna pay for tier 1, tier 2, or tier 3, you should have all demos for all tiers, and that's
Yep.
it. Just let them have it. Give it to them.
So can we all agree, and maybe we can agree, but based on
Yeah.
all the news stories that keep coming out about this thing, can we agree that this thing was not thought through before it was announced?
Oh no, it was thought
And
through. They just said they're getting this money. That's what they thought about.
yeah.
But it
I
seems
see
like it's
Dirk
not.
Griggity
It's
in the
not
chat.
well. Oh yeah, we see Dirk Griggity. Welcome, good sir. Welcome. Big
Hello,
fan of
Dirt.
Dirk Griggity on this channel.
What's up, Dirt?
So yeah,
I-
I would love to see ultimately where this goes because
Yeah.
I still stand open. People may think I'm an Xbox guy or whatever, and that is my primary platform. I play Xbox and PC a lot. These days, I play my Steam Deck more than anything else, but that's neither here nor there. I do want that PlayStation subscription that rivals that Game Pass thing, so that I can have two subscription services for my various gaming needs. Right? I think that would be awesome. I
Hey,
would commend Sony for giving me that option.
you have an echo, Kale.
Oh, I
Oh, no,
apologize.
no,
I
my
don't-
bad, my bad, my bad.
I
It
don't
was
hear it.
it was the volume that went up. My bad, my bad.
Oh no worries, no worries, not a
Okay.
problem at all. It is a construction zone in my house, so it could be an echo coming from me. No big deal. So okay, since you guys are in the PlayStation block already, let's keep down that PlayStation line. All right, I know you guys talked about this real quick. Let's keep going down there. And since since people are now talking about the whole consternation about, hey, will this be bad news for developers, right? Let's keep going and let's talk about bad news for some consumers. So, as Everborn Saga and myself attest, we had a little bit of a friendly
Lord.
competition about this some months ago, where during the time, and this happens every year, if you're a gamer, nobody has to say this to you. You know what's going down. You wait until the moment is right, and then you buy a bunch of these subscription cards so that you're all set for X amount of years, right? You're all set for as long as you can go, right? PlayStation has been doing this for a long time. As I speak, my PSN subscription ends in 2024. Stacked it up to 2024. Some years back, haven't looked back since. I know that 2024 is going to update. Same thing with the Game Pass subscription. I think it's a 2-year max, and then it won't let you go any further. And I have that subscribe maxed out so that, hey, it's good to go. I got a good deal. Myself and Everborn, we do it every year. It looks like with the new subscriptions that they're bringing out, as seems to be the trend that we've been talking about today, PlayStation wants to maximize the dipping their hands in your pocket. So they're making sure that there will be no subscription stacking. That means if you want to be part of these tiers, you're going to have to pay month to month or a year as they see fit. You can't stack it for multiple years and get a discount that way.
I finally understood. I finally understood the whole controversy. I was like, what? What the whole stacking thing? But now I'm getting it. Okay. I was gonna ask you about that. Oh Lord.
Yeah. So before I go to you first, let me say again, thank you all for being here. I see Fuzzy Belvedere in the chat. He just perked my interest and said he's getting his Steam Deck on Pride Day, baby. He got his on Friday.
Yep.
Mr. Belvedere, you know what? Since Everborn Saga won't get his until the year 3000, maybe you, me, and Slow need to get together
before I get my Steam Deck.
Maybe we need to get together and do like a long form review of what we think of this thing. Because those that know, baby, it's a beautiful thing. But let's continue. Mr. Crazy Loot Gaming.
Yes, sir.
How are you about subscription services? Does this whole stopping of stacking thing bother you? Are you just like, no big deal? Where do you fall here?
Well, I'll be honest with you. Of course, it bothers me because I mean, why don't you give me the opportunity, like, for me to get three PS Plus if I wanted to pay for them? Let's say I wanted to pay 3 or 4 years of PS Plus. Why don't you give me the opportunity to pay for them? Because I think Microsoft gives you what, 3 years of gold if you want to
Yep.
pay for it. So
Yep.
yeah, but why don't you just give me three instead of, like, give us three and we'll all be happy about it.
Yep.
We won't be mad about it. So why are you guys stopping this? It's gonna make you lose money right there, because you're gonna make your fans mad about it, which we know they are getting mad because they're actually shouting out on Twitter like, what the hell, what is this happening? That's not fair. People are actually shouting out right now, and they're pretty mad about it. So seriously, I do not understand, why do they always make all these weird decisions. Same thing with what happened with what's oh man, if I remember all the decisions they made, I was just scratching my head. I remember the
See, that's
first.
what I call that political capital. They have
Yeah,
been
yeah,
filling people's heads with
yeah,
greatness and gaming
yeah,
for so
yeah,
long
well,
that
yeah.
now they can do whatever the hell they
But
want.
yeah, yeah.
People are just like,
I remember.
whatever.
I remember when they started saying that only PlayStation 5 games will only come out on PlayStation 5, and I was like, dude, you're
They
making the
believe in
wrong.
generations.
They had to go back and put games on PlayStation 4. Then they said they were gonna kill the PlayStation Vita and everything. 3 months later, no, we're not gonna kill it. We're just gonna leave it. And now you're starting with this crap. Oh man, seriously, you guys need to check. They need to sit down. I don't know what's going on with them, but they need to really check themselves out, because really, for me, that's just bad. Because I have my PS5 back there, right? I have it.
Mhm.
I love it. I enjoy it. But if I have an opportunity, let's say I find Plus in $25, right? I'm like, wait, I can buy 3 years of Plus. Give me up to 3 years, and I'll happily buy it and put it on, so I can be 3 years in your service without any problem. Really, because that's the good thing, though. If you give me opportunity to get 3 years at $25, then heck yeah, I'll pay for it. And that way, you have a person there for 3 years in your service. So you got to be happy about it, that I'm actually in your service. But if you're not going to let me stack up because you just want to make it a yearly thing, then you're doing something bad, really. And what they were saying is that, okay, if you have this, we're going to give you like 183 more days or 365 more. That's what they were saying, right? And they were going to give you like extra because you have
Yeah,
you have
like so.
yeah,
I don't think they were going to convert you to the exact level that you are now in the new subscription.
yeah,
What Xbox did was they grandfathered you in and then they prorated you, meaning like if you were Xbox Live Gold for a long time and you were stacked
yeah.
Xbox Live Gold, they turned Gold into Ultimate Game
You
Pass.
guys, yep,
And then
absolutely.
they just tiered you down based on how many years ahead you had booked. And they went,
Yeah.
okay, well, you may be Xbox Live Gold for 5 years, but that's worth 2 years of Ultimate, right?
No,
But at least you
no,
get the 2 years of Ultimate.
no, because the most that you have is 3 years. That's it. Also, the most that
Yeah,
you have is 3 years.
but
So if
I guess the point I'm making is they prorated you and they converted it to the right
that's
kind of value. You
what you
know.
did, was you pay $180 of gold, and you just paid once the Game Pass, and they converted 3 years of Ultimate Game Pass with gold combined. So that's a pretty good move.
Yeah.
Sony should do the same thing. I mean, if guys, like I said, let them stack up and give them something that if they pay, give them like an extra thing. Let's say, okay, you stacked up, we're gonna give you 20% discount on new games that come out, because
Yep.
since you're on the top tier, something like that. Give them something that people will be happy to pay about. But
Yep. Indeed. Indeed. And
yeah,
to answer Slomo's question in the chat, yes,
yeah.
I did get that email with them tripping all over themselves trying to explain why it's better value for me to get less for my money. Yeah, it is what
Oh
it is.
my God, they actually sent you an email?
Oh yeah, they sent an email to all the people who potentially are subscribers. I'm a PlayStation Plus subscriber, so
Oh
oh don't
no.
worry, you can still get the great value for your dollar. Blah 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 blah. I'm just like,
Listen,
you guys are lucky. I'm subscribed to
you see,
2024.
you see what I say. Charge them more.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Well, you know what? You're unmuted, brother. Tell me your opinion. What do you think, man? Go ahead.
No, no, Sony's just listening to me. I'm glad I got this started with a hashtag. You know what I'm saying? And now it's going into emails. So, hey, a lot of people they made excuses for these things. So
Mm-hmm.
remember,
Oh man.
this is the business model, and they got to make money, and we don't want to get one over
Yeah.
on a company, right? So charge them.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
No,
I,
I hear
I,
you.
I am not moved by this at all. They
Mm.
shouldn't. You're lucky they don't take away the 1 year discount.
Which people have been complaining, trying to make it a thing. Xbox doesn't have that 1 year discount. And I never even knew that because I've been buying those cards forever. Xbox does not have that. You buy a year, you save some money, and people have been. Which, hey, I didn't know that. That is righteous smoke to
buy
be
those cards in the store though, right? You just can't.
Yes, you
buy
can.
it from Xbox.
You just can't buy it from the. Yes. That was the made up controversy. They took it away from everywhere, and then they put it back in the third party stores. They didn't put it back in the first party stores, but you can still buy it there. Okay, but all right. So let us not leave this PlayStation stories all on a bad note, because there are some interesting, fun PlayStation stuff that is coming out, which they've leaked. There's been some of the classic PlayStation games that have leaked, right? And some of them that you see on the list are obvious repeat offenders. There's no way they would have released this thing without putting these on here. But I don't know if you guys have had a chance to see this. What do you guys think of the games that they're offering? Are you disappointed? In a hypothetical world where everything else on this about the subscription was great, would you be excited? Is this exciting news? I will start with you, Everborn.
Is what exciting news? What are you talking about?
They leaked. There's a bunch of games leaked.
Oh,
about
yeah,
300,
no, I don't care.
340
not
classics. Not even a little bit.
Nope. That's it.
Yeah.
Move on from me. I don't care.
Yeah. Welcome, man. Good
Until
morning,
you
sir.
say there's day and date stuff there's nothing about this service that excites me.
Yep. I hear you, and I appreciate you standing on that square, brother. And Deep
And I hope
Floyd
they raise the price.
619 asked the question of the day: do the games have enhancements? We don't know, good sir. We don't know, and that's been my square I've been standing on.
Hey, look. Nobody wants to play old games.
Exactly, right? Nobody wants to play old pixelated. I love Siphon Filter. I've been saying that on this show for some time. My Steam Deck, I'm playing Siphon Filter on it right now. I love it. But guess what? It is a pixelated mess with terrible controls by today's
because
standards.
These games are in a subscription service, that means they are lower quality. The quality of these games are not like the day one bangers.
So does that mean automatically Returnal turned to trash because it joined the subscription service?
Yes. It was great right before it entered the service. Now
the moment it entered the service, it is trash.
It's PlayStation Plus fodder.
So yes, in addition to the first parties, we do have confirmation like Death Stranding, God of War, Miles Morales, Mortal Kombat 11, Returnal. Obviously, we'll get that. We also have some news stories that things like Siphon Filter, various games of yore that you remembered from the past when PlayStation 1 and 2 were great. Your Ridge Racers, your Tekken 2s, all of those. Those will be returning as well. So, yes, no day and date. No day and date. Does this move the needle for you, Crazy Lou?
Well, me, I'm excited because I love to play classic games. I just wonder how they're gonna play today. That's what I'm wondering. Yeah, that's the only thing that I'm wondering about. How are they gonna play today? But yeah, I love playing classic games because I remember. Oh Lord, like I'll give you an example, right? Let's take Resident Evil games. This is a great example. When you buy the Resident Evil HD version and you play it, and then you play Resident Evil 2, the remake, you're like, whoa, there's a big difference. The Resident Evil HD is exactly like the old Resident Evil game. And I was like, oh no, not that. I remember I was like going through the pain, like the shotgun, like up and down, and the knife like slashing down up. I was like, oh man, this is so uncomfortable. I played it like that. It was fun, but I was like, nah, I don't like it this way. But then when I see the Resident Evil 2 remake, I'm like, whoa, this is awesome, man. This game rocks. And it had the same scary environment. I think for me, the Resident Evil 2 remake is a lot better than the old one. Sorry, guys, if you all get mad at me, I don't care. But really, I just love when Mr. X comes out. Oh man, that guy chases you everywhere. That's awesome. That's so much fun.
Isn't it interesting that that's always how it always happens? People who play the new one before the original one always like the new one better. Look at what happened with Mass Effect. The new school love Mass Effect 3 the best. The old school think that is a Travis democracy. Like,
Oh
how could you?
Lord, I remember that controversy. Everybody, I have never played Mass Effect, but I remember everybody mad about the whole Mass Effect thing. I remember that was the whole thing on the internet. That's like 2 months. People just mad about that thing. That ending. What the hell? You know, everybody was mad, pissed
And
off.
now you have slow-mo backslappers coming after you there, Lou. Resident Evil's overrated, he says.
Oh, it's overrated.
Especially 5.
Listen, wait, what? Especially what?
5. Resident Evil 5 was the worst one in the entire series, and I gave up on the whole series until 8 after that.
Resident Evil 5, will you face Wesker? Hell no, Wesker.
Resident Evil 5, where they had you shooting all the people in Africa that didn't even look like they were zombies.
Brother, I was so angry at that game. Oh my God! Let's move on. Let us not
make it to the Wesker part because I was so mad at the beginning.
Brother, let us not turn this into the Capcom more racist with that game podcast because that's what that is. We'll keep it moving.
Yeah, man. Listen, people want to hear about this damn showcase, man. We over here spending.
We are. Okay. We'll get to the showcase. This is where I was going. I was getting to it, but let's get to the Xbox
Dragging
block.
Your feet getting to it.
Let's get to the Xbox block. And it looks like Crazy Lou's about to lose his mind. He goes, "They called Resident Evil 5 racist. Oh my God!" This is what we do, Crazy Lou.
Hey, how come y'all get mad? In the fourth one, they were killing Latin people. What are you talking about? I wasn't mad about that. Yeah, I wasn't mad about that.
That was a problem too.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was.
Now, I didn't notice that problem until it was my people, but it was also a problem in hindsight.
Well, okay. Let me say something. Let me say something that will come and bite me in the butt, and then we'll move quickly along. If a bunch of stereotypical colonizers walk into an environment and start murdering fools that don't look like them, and y'all release that game like, hey, we're good. In the 2020s, we need to rethink our position. I'm just saying. Yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter what you look like. We live in today's world. If all of a sudden the next Resident Evil, they walk into Mexico and just start murking fools, that would be a travesty of epic proportions, and we should all be pissed off about it.
I never looked at it. I'm laughing because
here's the thing: they didn't even really look like zombies. It was just like we're going over here shooting these wild Africans in the head.
Well, but think about it, right? Like normally, Resident Evil has normal-looking people who turn into zombies. They get gray, they get dark, and their eyes get messed up. Right?
No, but here's the thing, though. That's what happened with Resident Evil, right? That they did it with the Resident Evil 4. They're trying to make it like a more person type zombie thing. Like, for example, Resident Evil 4, when you were running around, the Spanish people going around and saying, hey, te voy a matar, te voy a asesinar, te voy a joder, saying all that stuff, right? When they were saying that, I was like, okay. And you saw them coming at you with weapons in their hands. It's like, well, okay, this is a new type of zombie. The T-virus evolved, and now these guys look like normal human beings. And so, I saw since you guys mentioned that, now I'm looking at it like that.
Can't unsee it now.
Let me be real with you, Crazy Lou. Let me be real with you. This is what everyone does to me, right? I'm playing like Horizon Forbidden West, and I'm like, this is a beautiful game. Look at all the attention to detail. He goes, it is beautiful, right? Except the fact that the savior of the world is using African tools to save Africans, except she's a white girl with red hair. And I'm just like, God damn it, the man has a point. Now I can't unsee this. Like, damn it. This is what he does to me. And he's absolutely right.
This is what this world has done to me.
He's absolutely right, too, right? Before then, you're just this innocent, like, I love this game. This is great. This is beautiful. Ever since then, I'm looking at him like, Forbidden West, you sons of bitches. Y'all like cultural appropriation up in this bitch.
Well, and listen, to be fair, Crazy Lou,
What's up? What's
I
up?
did not even notice until I was hyped for Resident Evil 5 and I saw the trailers and
Yeah.
my mind didn't make the connection that, oh shit,
Mm-hmm.
like they're in Africa and they're just
Mm-hmm.
shooting these people. It's not until
Yeah.
I bought it day one, because I was a super
Mm-hmm.
Resident Evil stan at the time.
Yeah.
And then I played it day one and I was like, this is not sitting right with my soul. Hold
No.
on.
Yeah,
Are
me
we just
either.
going to move on to something? What is happening?
Yeah.
Right?
And it was in Nigeria.
Me,
Certain the cities they were certain. Go ahead.
But look at me, for example. I did not see that. I was like, oh, it's in Africa. Let's go. Let's go
Yeah.
get like for me, just to kick Wesker's butt. That was my main goal.
Yep.
I just to ran over everything. I didn't care. But now you like with the perspective you guys put it. Now I'm like, oh, you look there.
We've
Right.
opened the world to you that you can't unsee now, right? It's messed up, right? It's like the Matrix. You wish you pilled yourself. You know what I'm saying?
It's like again. I laugh because, like I said, I remember the South Park game when you put it in hard. Oh man, I saw that. I just laughed my ass off. I was like,
you know what? We're devolving. Let's get back. We're devolving.
All right. Showcase time, baby.
Yes, let's talk.
You guys are right though.
Let's talk about the showcase, okay? Because I really want to talk about the showcase. We knew this was going to happen. We knew it was going to come, right? People have been talking about, even though there's no E3, they're going to give an E3-like show, blah, 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 blah. We've been talking about that potential for a while now, right? Let's start the conversation here, okay?
Right.
For a long time now, right? These entities have been putting on this show roughly at the same time every year, right? Whether it be Bethesda by themselves or Bethesda with Microsoft. And now, of course, you have all these other companies that are being bought and sold, right? And they're all still the same players in the game, but now they represent a new team, right? For a long time now, in the past, we loved the Bethesda showcase, right? Everyone that's been there, and shout out to the ILP, they regale of stories. You know, Bethesda knows how to put on a show, they say, right? More than most, right? Microsoft has had good years, Microsoft has bad years. Here they are now with Bethesda in tow. Second year, they're doing the Bethesda Microsoft showcase. Great. When do we think, and I asked this of Everborn before, I think I've asked this of Everborn before, and I asked this of Mr. Boomstick before as well, and he had an interesting an answer for me. Since E3 is a thing of the past at this point, right? They're talking about we'll be back next year. Yeah, I'll wait and see it, right? But since E3 is a thing of the past, and Microsoft is not only buying a bunch of studios, they're also basically filling in the gap for Super Bowl gamer weekend, right? For that E3 window. When do we think there will come a time when we'll see Microsoft just like present you almost 2 days of content, where it's the Bethesda show, all Bethesda, all of their offerings. Oh, Machine Games is doing this. Oh, Alpha Dog is doing that. And then the Coalition next week, all Coalition. They're doing. Right now, it seems like they're bringing them all together and having that small show because, Nintendo's tomorrow or PlayStation's next week. No, that's not the case anymore. They are no longer beholden to the E3 format. Do we think this is the beginning of, how Netflix does what does Netflix do? The Netflix and Geek or whatever, where they have like their own con showing a bunch of stuff for days and days and days. Is that where we're getting there now?
Netflix did that, but I do think that we could see something similar to Build, like Microsoft Build.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Where it's like a week-long or several-day event where you have a main keynote with all the big news announcements, and then the sidebar stuff in the subsequent days. So it would be something that lasts 3 days to a week, and it is just one major 2-hour keynote followed by dev deep dives, gameplay demos, and things like that in the subsequent days. And it's basically like they are big enough to be like a Microsoft-based E3.
Exactly my point. You see where I'm going, everyone. How about you, Crazy Lou? Because right now, let me rephrase this question. Right now, every time Microsoft acquires a publisher or a studio, they potentially, in the world we live in right now, they're potentially taking them time away from them for their E3 show, right? Because there's a world where Microsoft doesn't own Bethesda, and we're in 2022, and there's an E3 like show, and Bethesda will have their own show, and they'll show what Machine Games is working on. They'll show Starfield. They might show the snippet of the next JPEG of Elder Scrolls or whatever, right? Because they are their own entity and they're putting on their own show. Microsoft now owns them. So now they become a part of the Microsoft show, right? And the more studios they own and the more publishers they own, these are all becoming a part of the Microsoft show. Imagine if 2022 Activision Blizzard King was part of Microsoft already. Are they all just going to have one show? Wouldn't that be like an 8-hour show at that point? Like so many.
Or again, you condense that down to 120 minutes and have the best show you've seen in your entire life every year. And then
you
the
think
smaller stuff comes on the subsequent days.
But here's
Go ahead,
the thing.
Lou.
Here's the thing that Microsoft has done really well. For example, in the last showcase, I mean, all we saw was games. We saw so much game trailers. I mean, you can fit a lot of game trailers in there. And so, even though they can join them all up, right? They can join them all up. I think, of course. I think these guys will still have their show separately. I think they will have isn't there a BlizzCon or CrateCon, something like that?
Yeah, all those cons still exist. Yep, that's true. That is true.
They will still exist. But for that show, for example, they're gonna show pretty much a bunch of the they're gonna like they did last year, which the whole show was all about game trailers and world premieres and stuff like that. And I think that's what they're gonna do. If everybody's gonna join up, if it's still gonna be a 2-hour show, what they're gonna do is they're gonna squeeze all those game trailers in there, and we're gonna see them. That's what I think we're gonna see. It won't be an 8-hour show, because if they're gonna sit down and explain and this and that, then yes, it will be an 8-hour show.
Now, but again, what if, right? Just going back to the build idea, right? Yeah. And I don't know if it makes sense for them timing wise to put this all in 1 week, 1 week long event. But what if you had your main keynote with the biggest and best things, right? And then your subsequent days were BlizzCon, were Bethesda Day, were QuakeCon, were
Minecon.
Right, Minecon and whatever and Game Pass Day, right? For on Xbox, right? What if those were the subsequent days, but you had one main keynote? But do you want to force everything into one week? Because couldn't you spread out those events to keep people excited about the multiple brands that you have?
Yeah, no, I hear what you're saying, Everborn, and we'll have to wait and see how they approach it, because unlike others, it seems Microsoft, and Phil specifically, is very much like loves that E3 window, short window, everybody from everywhere, all platforms together, talking about what they have to offer. He likes that paradigm. He said that publicly a couple times. Phil Spencer has, right? But now they're in a world where the ESA is a shell of their former self, and even Microsoft themselves, when Microsoft Gaming, who is now becoming a lot more representative of the gaming industry because there's a lot more under their belt, right? Now they're having to put on a show that represents many different sides of the house. There's a world where they don't just come out and say, "Here's our Xbox show," because it's not just one show. There's many, many, many different entities within this frame now, right? So I do think this year will be exactly like you're saying, Crazy Lou, right? It'll be components put together in one show. But I don't see a world where they have all of them under their belt. Activision Blizzard King is done.
Because
this rumor about WB they're talking about WB rumors. Imagine a world where all that's done. They have all of that under their belt, and they still just have one show.
Yeah,
that would be surprising.
But remember one thing though about, let's say, the whole Bethesda thing. Remember Bethesda, even though Microsoft bought it or not, they will still have.
They still put them in the.
They still have all their games set up. Like every year, they would say, okay, let's say this year we're gonna show Doom or Wolfenstein or something like that. They have their years organized, because they still have their, what's it called, they still have the future programming already. They already have the future ready and made, right?
Sure.
Yeah, they already had it made. So they say, okay, this year they show this trailer, this year they show that trailer. So yeah, like I said, like I already looked for, I googled it. How many trailers did they show in the last E3 that Xbox had, and they showed 30 different games in that trailer, which I
And
don't remember
also,
how.
so, just another side point, like if there
Yeah.
is an E3 next year, Microsoft will be a part of it because they're one of the board members,
Board
right?
members of the ESA, yes.
Yeah.
Phil Spencer is a
Right,
board member
right.
of the ESA. Yep.
So,
So it seems like they are ready to back anyone and everyone who's doing this stuff, but they know that they're also out there and they can do it themselves. So
Yeah.
you know, I
mean,
think it's
this-
exciting. I think it's exciting, but I'm still the jury is still out of how all of this will look in like a year or two. Because the ESA, I'm not confident in their capability to bring back E3 in any form next year. They're saying, "Oh, we're coming back." I don't know, man. I don't know. You guys think we're going to see an E3 try to come back next year?
yeah,
I guess Crazy Luke, go ahead.
Yeah,
I
I
think
guess. Yeah.
E3. Oh, sorry.
I think E3 will come back. Yeah, because it's already
Really?
like a. Yeah, I think it's just a traditional thing, and it's something that we all sit down and enjoy, and yeah, like
Oh yeah.
so it's a good thing. It's another way for them to go sit down, talk to developers, and hang out with them and stuff like that. So it's a good way to make connections too.
I think Microsoft Gaming will be big enough after this Activision deal for E3 to just be Microsoft. If nobody else wants to show up.
Yeah, they can be the platform. They can be that platform, yes. And they can have third parties on their stage, which is interesting. You know, I that's where I was going with my initial sign of questioning. I feel like at some point it'll just be undeniable that they're going to have multiple shows because they have so much content to potentially show.
But technically, they have multiple shows right now, though, right?
Yes, they technically do. You're absolutely right.
Fan Fest, all that other stuff is opportunities that they can use.
So to the point of all the content they have to show, and I'm going to you first, Crazy Lou, on this. Yeah. We know a bunch of stuff they showed last year, right? You remember your Redfalls, you remember your Avowed. They showed off Fable CGI trailer. There's a bunch of stuff that they showed off, right? So that means there are a bunch of stuff that they need to update us on, right?
Yep.
And those trailers and stuff that they announced, those by and large were new from last year, right? We got like 5 or 6 new names to add to our equation last year.
Yeah.
And we'll most likely get, now we'll see the full Avowed gameplay trailer. We'll see the full possible trailer for Senua Saga or whatever. A bunch of them are going to be updated.
Yep.
How many new ones do you foresee that we'll see? Because a lot of those updates have not come out yet, right? So are they just going to give us updates and move on? Or are they going to give us new ones like 2024, 2025? What do you think?
Remember that there's an Indiana Jones game going around that all we saw was a teaser.
Go.
That's something I want to see more about. We also got a rumor going around, which has me really, really freaking excited, and that's the Mandalorian thing going on. Oh man! Yeah. If a Mandalorian game goes on Xbox, man, I'm all in. That would be my superhero. Everybody's talking about superhero. Man, for me,
you know what's happening, right? You'll see those meme guys picking up Xbox controllers saying, "This is the way." You know what I'm saying?
Hell yeah, man!
I'm looking forward to it.
Hey, listen, if that happens, I'm just waiting for Aaron Greenberg to change his PFP to Mando and watch all the tears that will follow.
They can't do that.
Can you imagine that? Oh man, I mean, I'm really every time I hear that rumor, I start to shiver because man, a Mandalorian game for Xbox.
That would be something. That'd be
dope. That'll be dope. Yeah.
And there's also rumors of Marvel games for Xbox, which is very weird because it's not weird. It's weird because in the past we've seen whenever Sony gets in there, they tend to want to be the only ones in there. Maybe Microsoft is in there these days and we just don't know.
Or maybe they're making a play for some DC games, but maybe that's a topic.
I want to see. I want to see DC in there, man. DC.
All right, so I do have a question, right? At the show, right?
All right.
Phil tweeted about how excited he was and how he kind of felt like almost something to the effect of he felt like a kid again, or like a fan just going backstage to look at what they have going on. To me, that tweet said, do not temper your expectations. Usually they have some like, all right, guys, calm down. Like, we're going to put on a good show, but don't get crazy. They're not saying any of that this time, right? Like he's real. So this is the quote. This is what he tweeted yesterday.
I'm sorry. Before you read your quote, I must say we need to time out Mr. Joanna Dark in the chat because he wants a Jar Jar Binks game. I'm sorry. Continue.
No. Hey, but he wants a Jar Jar Binks. I want a Chuck Norris game. That's what I want. I need somebody.
I think a Chuck Norris game. Jar Jar Binks game. Sorry there, Mr. Joanna Dark.
Chuck Norris doesn't read books. He stares them down till they give him the information he wants.
That's right. You know, till the pages just like run away scared themselves, right? Come on now. Chuck Norris game.
Yes.
A Chuck Norris game would only be one level, right? Like, who's going to fight against Chuck Norris? It wouldn't work. Okay, so Phil Spencer tweeted, coming to the end of a good week. Microsoft earnings were a nice moment for Xbox. It's always great to hear Amy and Satya. Oh, no, this is a different one, but I'll read it anyway. Amy and Satya talk about the progress followed by the announcement of the Xbox Bethesda showcase. I just want to say thank you for the support and feedback. For the feedback and support, very much appreciated. And then here's the one I was talking about. Getting ready for events, spending time with studios, reviewing demos, announces, scripts is one of the most fun parts of this job. I feel like a fan who has sneaked behind stage watching the show get created. I can't wait for June 12th to show the amazing work of so many talented teams. Like I said, to me, it sounds like he is saying, do not temper your expectation. We're about to
blow the doors off, as it were. Okay.
So my question is this going to be another E3 2018? What does that mean? It's the E3 of dreams, right? Could it be that they do a one more thing at the end and maybe announce some individual studio purchases? Now I'm going to throw a hat in the ring. What if it's something like a Creative Assembly? I think they could buy something like that and keep it under the radar without ruffling the feathers of the regulators, right? Small enough purchase, might not even have to have it reviewed, depending on the sale price. Another one, what about Asobo?
Yeah.
What if they can find a way to get Crystal Dynamics? I'm not saying all of these, but what if there's something like this happening? Now, then there's also the WB stuff, which we'll talk about later with Imran Khan's tweet. So my point is, what?
Well, bring that up right now. That Imran Khan tweet. Go ahead, because you brought that to my attention. And I thought that was super interesting. Please go ahead.
Okay, so Imran Khan tweeted, and I quote, what did he say? He said, couldn't get enough confirmation to actually write a post about it, but hearing a decent bit of chatter this week about WB Discovery, now that deal is closed, shopping their game development studios around. Interested parties include EA, Take-Two, Microsoft, Sony, Tencent, NetEase, PUBG Corp. Warner Brothers Discovery wants to sell studios and license IP, supposedly. Okay, now let me comment on this first. So, little preamble. We know that deal just closed, right? And we know that Discovery was worth something to the order of $6 or $16 billion before buying Discovery. Sorry, Discovery was worth $6 or $16 billion before merging with Warner Brothers, valued at $45 billion, right? So they borrowed, I don't know how much more money than they're worth to do this deal with AT&T. Now the question is, we see, not question, but observation, we just, in other news yesterday, we see that they're shutting down all of the CW superhero shows, right? We see that they're streamlining.
Yeah.
We see that they're
brother,
talking
I did
about
not thread that needle that WB shutting down all those shows, the CW shows. That's an interesting
right.
look. Really?
So they're now looking to cut costs. The new I think it's David something Zaslav, right? I think it's David Zaslav, right? He's the new CEO of this new entity, and they had to borrow a lot of money to do this deal, and now they need to shed the fat and get lean. And he's talked a lot about not producing content for content's sake, but quality content, and effectively utilizing the resources they have. So it seems to me that in order to lean up, to get lean, they want to off-put the game studio. So basically get rid of the talent and then license the IPs back to them. Right. So if this is all true, and it all seems like it makes sense, if you look at the fact that the sale just finished, you look at the fact that Warner Brothers was not bought by an Apple or an Amazon or Microsoft or whatever that has a bunch of pockets to throw money at this thing. They were bought by a company that was smaller than them, so they need to cut spending, right? So that they can make this deal work. So they need to be nimble. So now it stands to reason that they would want to get rid of the gaming divisions to offload the risk of producing these games while only seeing income from the licensing fees, right? All that makes sense. So now the question is, are they selling all of WB games to one party, or are they piecemealing it out? Now, I have some information that there are at least some that at one time they were trying to piecemeal away. So the question is, if they are piecemealing it, what studios do we think go where? And do we think that Microsoft is going to risk any sort of eyeballs from regulators on the Activision Blizzard deal to try to move on one of these studios? That's the question, and then we'll move on.
Well, on the flip,
well, I have another point, but I want to get to that question.
It looks like Slow-Mo Backslaps is giving you another option. That third option being, they said, get these trash CW shows out of here.
Hey, I like the Superman and Lewis show, man. If they cancel that, I'll be sad.
So do I, Crazy Lou. I love that show. Everyone refuses to give it a chance. It's an awesome show.
It's an awesome show, man. It's an awesome show. It's
Superman and Lois.
It's a fantastic show.
Absolutely. And it's canceled anyway. So who cares? All right.
No, don't tell me that. I'll be so depressed.
It's not canceled. They haven't canceled it yet.
They haven't canceled it. Yep.
My boy Zaslav is going to take care of that. All right.
Please.
This is DC. This is DC, not WB.
You guys in the chat, talk to me. Who gets what studios?
Who gets what studios? Well, they need to
get. And you think this is a world where regulatory bodies have no, unless it's like a small, indie outfit or whatever, you really think they can go and buy NetherRealm and Khan will be okay? It's fine, no big deal.
Let me give you a couple things though. Like for example, for me,
I think depending on the price they cut.
For me, if I was Microsoft, I'd buy the guys from Rocksteady. Is it Rocksteady, right? Did they have on Rocksteady? And I would also get the guys from NetherRealm, because that would really help them a lot with the fighting game. Really, they do. They really do need a lot of help with their fighting games, because the last Killer Instinct was good, but it was just not as good as Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, it had potential, but it should have kept going to get better. Yeah,
get better. Yeah. Yeah, when you got Mortal Kombat, which they do fantastic games. Also, they do the Injustice games, which are loads of fun.
And it's wonderful you mentioned that because the creator of said Injustice and Mortal Kombat has already been very vocal about wanting to make a Killer Instinct game. We've talked about this. So that's another thing, not only do you have the competitor better than your offerings, your competitor is like, yo, give me a chance. I love your game. I want to make your game.
But see,
He said it publicly.
But yeah, get the Batmans, get the what's the other good game, Shadow Mortars in there. Get all those guys in there. Bring them over here. And again, bring NetherRealm. NetherRealm needs to be there.
Okay, so here's what I'm thinking regarding NetherRealm, right?
Yeah.
I think you buy NetherRealm. I don't think you license Mortal Kombat. I think you buy that IP outright because it's not really a movie IP.
100%.
So I think they can do that. The problem is, in order to not have to go through regulators and things like that, I think the cap is like 100 million, and you're not buying NetherRealm for $100 million, not with that IP, right? Maybe some other studios, but not NetherRealm, right?
I mean, you can buy TT Games for under $100 million, but
maybe you can, right? So, and again, I also think that the regulators can walk and chew gum at the same time. They can say, "Hey, we're not okay with Activision, but this one studio here and there doesn't make a difference to us."
Well, but you know the reason why we're saying this. We're saying this because we live in a world where senators, knowing full well that the subject matter that they're talking about has no bearing on the equation of what's going on, but they'll come out and they'll say stuff because they know that people don't know the full details of what's going on, right?
Yeah, but I
would be concerned that even though with the under the actual letter of the regulatory regulations, it does not have any bearing that you can't do both, but because the perception of it is that this might make things more complicated. They may not want to let that in. That's the only thing I see that might be their reason for being a little bit.
And I get that, but I was thinking the same thing, but like realistically thinking as and I know there's politics and all that stuff involved, but I genuinely think that the FTC is not really going to say one studio has bearing on what we think could be a problem. So basically what I'm saying is they wouldn't have an issue with one small studio, and that one small studio will have no bearing if the Activision deal is good or bad for the market. So I think that they can walk and chew gum at the same time, meaning they're not really gonna try to connect in it. Now, if they bought another publisher, then yes. But one studio, I think they could do it, and it wouldn't be an issue. Does Microsoft want to risk what I am guessing? I don't know that that's the case. Now, in terms of NetherRealm, I think it'd be perfect get. Has multiple uses. They'd have the number one fighting game in terms of unit sales and things like that, and also a studio to make their Killer Instinct game. But again, I think with the cost of that is like a perfect deal for Sony to move in on, because Sony has Evo, and it would be smart for them to have their own fighting IP to headline Evo. So I think Sony could move on that, pay more, and in a time where Microsoft doesn't potentially want to risk something, because you probably have to buy Mortal Kombat with the IP for over $1 billion.
Yep.
Right? Does Microsoft want to risk $1 billion purchase right now?
Sony just gave $1 billion to Epic, right?
Right.
For that. So they could potentially do that. I'm not
saying it wouldn't be worth it, but $1 billion that goes on the radar.
Yep.
But here's the thing, though, because we still don't know the trajectory of Street Fighter 6. Maybe it's going to be also again an exclusive for Sony.
There you go. I said that. People say that it's definitively multi-plat. I'm not so sure.
What are you talking about?
I'm not so sure.
What's definitively?
Street Fighter 6.
I think
people are saying I'm not so sure that it. I'm not so sure that it's not. I'm not so sure that it's not a PlayStation exclusive. Well, okay, I wouldn't say it's a PlayStation exclusive. It's not a PlayStation exclusive. It's anything but Xbox.
Because
which is what they did last time.
I'm gonna bet that it comes to the Xbox.
Because what
I'll take that.
I don't know yet. I don't know yet.
Nope.
I seriously don't know yet. Because really, I think since these guys own the evil thing, I think they're gonna try to get the most out of that.
And by the
Capcom
way,
game.
And we'll also Microsoft will also own their own version of the e-fighting with MLG, right? They don't own it yet, but they will, and they also own GG, another esports site.
By
But
the
yeah,
way, I just wanna. Okay, Slow-Mo, I'll take the bet. I
There
think it's
you
gonna
go.
come to Xbox.
You know, I don't think so either. I think I'm with Slow-Mo on this one.
All right,
I
we'll
think
see.
that Sony like saw blood in the water after the Activision Blizzard deal thing is going on. You know, I'm sure that Capcom would probably want it multi-plat because they just want their games everywhere. But Sony is like, we can't afford that. We can't afford to let them.
That's all good. Let's see what happens, but I think it'll come to the Xbox. Now,
Okay.
that being said,
Mhm.
I wonder, right? If Sony will move on NetherRealm, and if they do, it's a loss for Xbox, but I think it'll be good for us either way, whoever gets it. Now, what I do think Microsoft could use. Oh, before I get to that point, I wanted to say people are caught up on the licensing, but what if what they're buying is a video game license in perpetuity or in 10 or 20 year segments like the NFL, or in perpetuity like Time Clancy?
So kind of like what you're saying is, what if the deal is kind of like what Sony has with Disney with regards to Spider-Man?
Yes, or what EA had with Star Wars, or still has with the NFL, or what Ubisoft has with Tom Clancy.
Here's the thing.
No. I'll let you go crazy, Lou. Tom Clancy is wholly owned by Ubisoft. They literally bought the whole thing outright. It's not a perpetuity license.
Right, but a perpetuity license means you have that license forever, right?
No, but a perpetuity license, if certain stipulations aren't met, it could revert. This is not a reverting perpetuity license. Ubi owns it, like outright.
Okay,
they could put it in a box and never use it again, and they'd still own it.
Yeah, that's fine. But I think what Discovery, and they could get a lot more money for this, especially if they know they don't have any interest, is a perpetuity license. Is a license that says, hey, you, the same way Sony has they don't own Spider-Man, but
they just have the right license for
making the movies. Right? I think that's what you sell to someone buying these studios, to say, hey, obviously we still own these characters and we own merchandising, but you will own the right to make video games for them.
Go ahead, Crazy Lou. What do you think?
What I was gonna tell you is, everyone, is that right now, if you have not noticed how jealous Sony is with third parties exclusivity, like for example, look, we are still waiting for Final Fantasy VII. It's still not going to Xbox. There's not even a date that's gonna.
Well, let's see what happens at E3.
And not only that, also another example.
Xbox Bethesda Showcase. I'm calling it
Xbox
hard habit to break.
Yeah, but like I was saying, they have been pretty jealous a bit with their on the Japanese side of things. So yeah, I'm thinking that Street Fighter again is gonna be. I think they're really working on it, and they're not gonna let it go. They're gonna really work on it for that to be exclusive again, because, like I said, Street Fighter is a big deal, the big fighting game.
It's a huge deal, and them owning Evo, it is in their best interest to make sure that Street Fighter is synonymous with PlayStation. It is in their best interest.
Yes,
so, although I know that Capcom will fight it, I still think that I'm with you, Crazy Lou. I don't see it on I don't see it on an Xbox console. I don't see it. It could happen, and I'd be glad to be wrong, but I don't see it, because I think that even though PlayStation doesn't have money like that, they have enough money to be a pain in the butt, and this will be a pain in the butt, kind of a move. But you know what? We are close to 2 hours on this conversation. We are close. Time flies when you're like.
Hold on, we didn't even talk about what we thought we were going to see. This is because we spent all that time on PlayStation. Let's talk about what we think we're going to see. Forget about the acquisitions. Forget about Warner Brothers Discovery.
All right.
I want to point out that nobody answered my question as to what studio goes where. but that's
Oh,
okay.
I'll tell you what studio goes where. Real quick.
Hey,
Let me tell you what studio goes
before
where.
you say that. Shout out to Big Bad Mo's daughter. I think she turns 10 today. That's what I saw on Twitter.
Awesome! That's
Shout out to
awesome.
your
That's
daughter
great.
if you were listening with her. Sir.
Yes, thank you, Big Bad Mo.
It was his birthday yesterday too. Yeah, did y'all say happy? You know?
Yeah.
Happy birthday to him too. Happy birthday too, man.
There we go.
Yeah. So yeah, you were asking what studios go where. I think it's a very easy play. All the ones that are currently in contractual obligations with MS, it's still in play. And you've already mentioned them. You know, your Asobos, your Contraband studio. There's a bunch of them.
What Warner Brothers Studios?
Oh, WB Studios. Yes. What you mean? WB Studio. Oh, that's also quite easy. Like we've already described. NetherRealm. NetherRealm. I say if they can swing it, NetherRealm is going to be the fight of the century between Microsoft and PlayStation because they both need that. PlayStation needs it like very much so, but so does Microsoft. So I think NetherRealm specifically will be because it'll come with license.
I think
all the others come with studios.
I think NetherRealms actually comes with the IP outright.
Yes, that's exactly it because it comes with the IP, and the other ones come with licenses. So I honestly think that NetherRealm, I bet you TT would easily go to Microsoft, and it would happen with little fanfare. You know, even though they deserve some respect, I think TT will definitely go to Microsoft. I think
Monolith.
Monolith. There you go. I think Monolith could go to PlayStation because Monolith likes to make that huge epic experience, very very cinematic focused experiences and stuff like that. I think that PlayStation would see that and say, hey, they could work well with our existing style.
And I feel like that's a hole that Microsoft needs to fill, and you need them there. True. Now the next thing is WB Montreal. Where do they go?
WB Montreal. I love WB Montreal because they made one of my favorite Batman games that nobody gives respect to. The one in the middle of City and Arkham Asylum.
Arkham Origins? Is that the one?
Yes. Okay. Yes. I love Origins. Origins is a great game that, of course, since Rocksteady basically like ate everyone's lunch when it came to Batman, the other studio didn't get the respect they deserve. Arkham Origins is a great game. Beautiful game.
Okay. All right. Speaking of Rocksteady. Oh, wait. Lou, where do you think they go?
Oh, like I said, bring all those games. Bring them to Microsoft. We need a Microsoft.
Bring them home. Bring them home.
Yeah,
okay. Remember, EA and Take-Two and Tencent are also players here. So
no, EA, no.
EA, but Take-Two and Tencent, Take-Two and specifically Tencent, they're out there, man. You'll be surprised to see the Tencent come out. Wouldn't you be surprised to hear that Tencent buys Ubisoft? Would you be surprised?
No, I wouldn't be surprised.
I wouldn't be surprised at all.
I'm either because that's the thing. People keep on forgetting. Like I said, they were talking about the whole Ubisoft acquisition, but they keep on forgetting to mention Tencent and I forgot the other one again.
Embracer
Group. They keep forgetting those guys, and those guys got a big chunk of change to go ahead and buy. And hey, man, they're pretty much buying everything. And you also got Amazon out there and Netflix too. Who knows?
Okay, next question. The main player, Rocksteady. Where does Rocksteady go?
PlayStation.
7-year dev cycles?
PlayStation.
Okay. Again, this is the thing.
Match Santa Monica, right?
I will keep beating this drum that while Microsoft today, especially if Activision goes through, they're the king of shooters now, undeniably. They're the king of Western RPGs.
King of shooters, king of Western RPGs. Yeah.
I don't think you can deny that. And some could argue they're the king of racers.
T.O. Walker is asking, don't they own part of Ubisoft already? I thought they did. Tencent.
Let's Google that real quick.
Small investments, maybe.
So the thing is,
part of Ubisoft.
So my question is, like, and with them owning Bethesda, pretty much everything Bethesda makes is like first-person games, right? And I know they can do other things. I know you're going to say that, but right now, even Redfall just got confirmed. It's an FPS. Perfect Dark, FPS. Everything they're doing is all these FPS. So I would say that they could use some quality third-person action adventure devs. And so I think WB Montreal, more so than NetherRealm and TT Games, I think they need a WB Montreal, a Rocksteady, and Monolith, because I think those are that's the one weak spot in terms of the history of what the studios they have are developed.
To answer real quick, Mr. Walker here, yes, they do own 5% of Ubisoft stock. That's what I just read.
That could get bought out. You can be paid that out. But okay, so now what do we think we're going to see at this show in terms of games?
Mm-hmm.
Forget about acquisitions now. We did our obligatory acquisitions talk for this acquisition season.
Yep.
I just want to see the Wu-Tang Clan. That's all. I want to see you, God. I want to see Inspector Deck.
And Ghostface Killer.
Ghostface Killer come out.
We want to see
for the kids.
We want to see a Banjo Kazooie, a Conquer, 007 game. I want to see that GoldenEye be brought to life.
Yes, that's coming. You know what? Let's put that out there. Crazy Lou Gaming. 100%. You are right.
Also, we need an update on that Perfect Dark game. Jesus, we need an update.
I don't think we're gonna see it. I don't think
we might not see it.
I hope we do.
I don't think we see that till next year. And that game's not coming out till 2025.
We need an update on that. And what else? Also, more stuff on Halo. What's gonna come in Halo? We need more stuff in the Halo thing.
I think we'll see that certain Affinity Affinity trailer for that new game mode for Halo. I think you'll see.
Yes, that. we need more stuff of Halo. And again, Mr. Walker says Avowed. I totally agree with you. Avowed
better be at the show.
What was that other game, man? That was those
are all the known knowns, right?
But that was also
the unknowns.
Contraband. Yeah, that's it. Contraband.
Yes.
That's the game. About. Contraband. We need to see more about that, man. We got a bunch of teasers there. We need to see more about.
So
I don't think we see Outer World or Fable.
Mm-hmm. And Deploy, I'm sorry, but you're not getting Atomic Heart because that is a Russian studio right now.
Since I'm going to tell you something about a little bit about Fable, they are working really hard on it. They are probably going to show something, but since I follow somebody on Twitter, they keep on looking for people to work on it. That's all the information I have. But
I keep seeing new hires for the Fable team all the time. As recently as like 2 days ago, new hires for the Fable team.
Jess Corden was saying they're hiring a lot of ex-Rocksteady employees.
Interesting.
I just want to see me kicking chickens in Fable because that's what I love to do, kick chickens. I also did it in Zelda too.
So since there's that obligatory get your drinks on anytime anybody references Sega, here's my obligatory reference. I'm playing Fable, the original trilogy of Fable, on my Steam Deck. So go ahead and get your drink on. I just started a new character.
So here's the thing. One thing, Lou. Speaking of Sega,
I was gonna say
something. I think we're gonna see Sonic Frontiers at the show.
You know what I want Sega to do, and I really want them to do again. I want an Alien Isolation Part 2. That's what I want from Sega. I need that in my life. Yes, I do.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, and I think it's interesting on both counts. Both on your count, Crazy Lou, about an Alien Isolation game, because that has a very cult following to this day. People talk about that very fondly.
Let me tell you something. After I beat Resident Evil, I'm going to sit down and beat that game because I have played it and just never got to beat it, but I'm going to beat it. I'm going to beat it. Everything, just the detail in that game. That, for me, that's the best Alien game I've ever played. Just the detail.
A lot of people say that. It's considered the best Alien game that they've ever played. But I will also say, I hate to help him go into his bag, because that tends to devolve us even further than we're devolved. But I do agree with Elevon that I do expect to see Sonic Frontiers on the Microsoft show. I do.
Oh no.
After their relationship, after the
And
Super Games and all of that,
expect
and the fact that there will
expect
be no real E3, the real big show will be Microsoft's big show. They will leverage
Yeah,
that
expect
partnership and pull
that's gonna
Frontiers on.
expect
that's
me
gonna
to
be.
act a fool when it
Uh-huh.
happens. I'm
Of
just saying.
course.
Yep.
Okay,
Yep.
so do we expect? I don't, but do you
Oh
guys
Lord.
expect to see Hellblade 2 there? I think after we got that little
Yeah.
demo from the Game Awards, I don't think we see that till next year.
Yeah, we probably will. We probably will because of course they're gonna update us. They're gonna like for example this E3 that's coming up for them. For me, it's got to be one of the most important ones because now they
They
gotta
say that
show us.
every year, though.
No, oh, I know
True.
that. They say that every year, but last
This is
year,
the most important one
but no,
every
no.
year.
But I'm saying that for my point of view, this is the E3 where they gotta show dates. They gotta say,
Definitely,
hey, we got
100% agree.
this has to come this way, this has to come that way. They gotta start showing dates so that way people get more excited and keep on buying their consoles and keep on getting into the Game Pass because really, the whole Xbox has no games thing has to be gone and out
I mean, it's
because
been going and out, but
yeah, it's been gone and out. But yeah, but once they start
and
saying, hey, we have like for example Aval 2023 December 2023 or January 2023, I don't know, just say it, let's bring it,
Yeah, the dates will solidify it for
yeah, so
consumers. You're
yes,
absolutely right.
right
Yeah,
there,
the
once
dates
they
will
say
do it.
that they need to start putting dates on things, and
yeah.
get the
So
people rolling.
I don't think we see Fable yet. It would be what would be nice is if we could
Yeah,
get a progress update on Everwild.
And I think
yeah.
you might because they're also still continuing to do hirings for Everwild. I've seen two recent
Also,
hirings.
also another important game. I want to see that State of Decay 3. I want to see what's
Mhm.
going on with that. That sounds nice. Oh
Yep.
yeah, and Mr. Dark here says Project Mara. Yes, I hope we see more of Project Mara.
Yeah.
Project Mara is
Yep,
that's Ninja Theory's other
yeah.
side project, right?
We need to see a bunch of games, but not only see them, we want dates. This is
And
this is
let me give you my hot take real quick. And I'm putting this here. And next time you guys come, when
oh
this
yeah,
happens, you can say that you heard it here first. You
yeah.
will see a game from the coalition, and it will not be Gears.
Yeah, but I don't think you're gonna see that.
You'll
I
see a
don't think
demo
it's,
from you will see
you think at this E3 show, this
this
Yeah,
E3
I
show.
hope.
this
At
showcase.
this E3 show, you won't see a full game that comes out, but you'll see what they have been working on up until now that is not
Yeah,
Gears.
I hope they do take a break from Gears. Gears is a little bit of a break. Yeah, I totally agree with them. If we
You'll
got,
Hey,
see, because they've shown a bunch of demos for Unreal 5 already. You'll
yeah,
see a full game, like probably a smaller AA budgeted game, but
yeah,
you'll still see something that they've built that maybe in the Gears world, but you will
yeah.
not see Marcus Phoenix out there ripping things apart. You will see something else besides Gears of War mainline, and it'll be
so
this.
two things I want to add. So about I'll come to Gears in a second, but I see Umbra's in the chat. He's saying
Mm-hmm.
343 and Certain Affinity will be there.
Yep.
Now I know a
Yep.
lot of people
Yeah.
have issues with Halo right now in terms of content and cadence of releasing said content, but does 343 have a chance to redeem themselves in the eyes of the people who are upset with it? I'm a campaign guy, so I'm not upset. As long as they give me some sort of new campaign drop, hopefully this year, but holiday time, I'm okay. But my question is, if they come to this show with Certain Affinity and they show off the Battle Royale mode that they've been working on, and they show off a new story DLC, and then they tell you you're going to have co-op in the third quarter of this year along with the Forge, does that not get everybody hyped for Halo again? Does that not put everybody in the right place? If you got Forge, you got co-op, you got new story DLC, and you got a preview of the Battle Royale mode? Because I think all of that, all the naysaying about and I'm not saying they're gonna do this, but I'm saying that's how you get everybody hyped again. And that's how you get everybody to live with season 2 until you get to the promised land of season 3.
You know, I mentioned this. This all happened again, guys. We got you. Like I said, we got to be patient with the teams out there.
100% agree.
Again, when Sea of Thieves came out, the first year, it was not the best game. Everybody who played, okay, this is cool. Okay, yeah, you sell a boat, you do this, you do that. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Find a treasure, dig it up. Okay, bring it here. It was okay. But then when they started just rolling in, just when they starting to get the rhythm to it, look at what Sea of Thieves is now today. Sea of Thieves is a game that's got 30, 25. What was the last number? 25 million players out there.
25, but that was last year, so it could
that
be
was last year. It
Yeah,
could be
it's
higher.
about 30 million probably by now.
It's probably 30 million right now. I mean,
More people on Sea of Thieves than Game Pass.
Yeah, and they want to see more stuff in it. They want to get more stuff. And people are asking for Moby Dick. They're asking for this. They're asking for that. And those guys are listening, and they're bringing a lot of stuff, and people are loving it.
I'm just waiting for the Aquaman add-on. Yeah. Like, what are they doing here?
Why?
Yeah, imagine that. Imagine that.
Why? Aquaman and Sea of Thieves, seriously? Oh Lord.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Imagine the DC tie-in. Aquaman. That'd be amazing.
It could happen. We had Jack Sparrow in there. It could happen. It could happen.
No, you know what I really want? Black Sails. You remember that show?
Yes, of course I remember Black Sails. That was a great show. A great show. Of course, nobody watched it, so that's not going to do it. They're not going to do that, but it totally could. So, all right.
Yeah.
We've been going for about 2 hours now. There's still a few news stories we could get into, but I think it's painting a picture here, right? While the market leader is still the market leader, and it looks like they're not resting on their laurels. They're being made to be a bit more aggressive, and in doing so, it looks like we might not get the best from them because of it. They're spending their political capital a little bit too much. They're doing stuff that even die-hard PlayStation folks are going, come on, man, I can't justify this. You know what I mean? They're doing a little bit much in the eyes of even their staunch followers. On the flip, Xbox, who's been beaten up for quite some time, now seems to have the wind at their back, and even those who used to always look at them with a bad eye are now going, oh, this might be something new and interesting that people are going through, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do we see this same paradigm? And this is the final question I'll pose before we close up shop today. Do we see this same paradigm of the infograph where PlayStation seemingly in the zeitgeist of the mind is going a little bit more wonky downward trend versus Xbox going upward trend, or do we see, or do we expect that the same things that keep happening will keep happening? Meaning, at the end of it all, PlayStation will still pull out awesome bangers because they know how to do that, and Xbox will trip over themselves to failure, even though they had the potential for success, which tends to keep happening. Go ahead.
So, two things. I don't know how we got back to PlayStation on this great Xbox News Week. I'm just saying that the news stories of the week seem to be telling a tale, and I'm asking, is this trajectory where we really are seeing ourselves, or are we seeing other things going on? I'm going to tell you why. Sony is like Jin Sakai, right? They are the ghost, right? They move in silence and wait for the optimal time to strike. When there is a dull moment, when things seem like they are a bad news week for Xbox, they will strike with some great news. And everybody comes. Let me finish start. Go ahead. Everybody always does this to them. They are down on. By the way, some great suggestions for Sea of Thieves in the chat. Pirates of Dark Water, Sinbad, and all that.
Dark Water would be amazing. Right? Oh my God, mind blown.
To Sony's credit, every time people think they're like down and out in terms of the news cycle, they just come with something that makes everybody forget about it again. So as soon as they show off footage of Spider-Man 2, everybody's going to forget about all of this bad news, and they're going to be like, please charge me more, Sony, because you're the greatest.
Yep.
So I don't think the news cycle matters. It's more, let me not say it doesn't matter. It is more, the news cycle is more important for Xbox because they have something to prove than it is for Sony. Now, as Xbox, as and if Xbox continues to deliver, then the news cycle will become more important. But right now, it doesn't matter. They can just, Sony can drip feed news of a new product they have coming out, and they will be fine. But before, so Lou, answer that question. But
yeah, I want Lou to answer that.
We have to talk about this 98% thing because you had it on the screen for like.
I have it on the screen. Yes. But Lou, answer the question. You see where the trajectory is going. Last week and this week seem to be relatively similar. You know, we know PlayStation as the kings of the hill, whether it be marketing or game content or quality or all of that, right? All the above. They are the kings of the hill. They have been for a long time. Yep. We know Microsoft to be the little engine that could. They have all the money in the world, but they can't seem to put it together to make anything happen. That seems to be the positions they've both been playing for a long time. It seems that's changing now. Are we seeing a change here, or is this one of those situations where Microsoft takes 2 steps forward, 3 steps back? What do you know?
Here's the thing, though, that if we get into like this argument, right? The thing is, people talk, right, and they always want to make like PlayStation's always in the lead, and that Microsoft is not, like this. But I'm gonna tell you something though. When you rattle a beast, right? You know what's gonna happen. Right? It's like for me once. I'll tell you a quick story. I saw this cute raccoon and I went to pet it, and you know what I got after I pet the cute raccoon, right? It came after me and bit me and then chased me like pretty much all the way down. Same thing with Microsoft. Microsoft, what have they been doing? They have really great strategy right now. They have just an awesome strategy on how to get gamers to come to their platform. And how are they doing it? And that's because Sony people just kept on poking. Look at what's going now. I mean, you had that news over there about the whole like this month, for example. Look how they went with the consoles. They sold really well. They did excellent. Why? Because of all that poking around. You guys wanted to poke around. Okay, this monster, this be organized and stuff, and said, "Hey, man, let's focus on gaming." And not only that, you also got the CEO of the company saying, "Hey, here's the checkbook. Go ahead, do whatever you want." I mean, if you get that, you're gonna do whatever it takes to just make it number one, and you're actually doing it, and you're making it in a good way. What is the great strategy? You got Game Pass. Game Pass is a great example. Why? Because as a gamer, we're saving money. Not only that, we're also meeting new games. Developers are making money after that, and we're getting to that. And Microsoft is getting to that point where it's actually getting popular. And it's been popular. The thing is that when you go, let's say, to the toxicity about the fanboys, they're always trying to bring them down. Say, "Hey, man, Microsoft is this, Microsoft is that." And this is what I said. I was talking to my friend the other day on WhatsApp, and he was telling me about another friend that was talking bad about Game Pass. I said, "Hey, man, I'll tell you something though. Well, they complain, whine, and bitch all they want." So, excuse me for the word.
Oh no, you get one of those. Go ahead. You're good.
But they complain, whine, and bitch all they want. All the guys who have an Xbox are sitting here enjoying every. This is what we do. You know what? We're like
enjoying gaming.
We're like little kids. You know, when we used to go to the video store, like every Friday, we were waiting every single Friday to go to the video store, and we were like, "Let me go to the video game section to see what game am I gonna rent." So I was like, "Yeah, I like this game." I look at the front of it. I said, "This looks interesting." Once you turn the box, you read, they're like, "Oh, this game is about this, and that," right? But you have this on Game Pass. Right now, you're grabbing this game, you're playing it, and that's what you're waiting for every single month. You're waiting like, "Hey, what is going to be the news on Game Pass? What are they going to bring us this weekend?" Like, for example, we're waiting for now. Wait, what month are we? Are we in May? Yeah, we're getting close to May. Are we excited for the May next week's May news for Game Pass? Yes, we are. We want to know what they're going to bring. So their strategy is phenomenal. And not only that, and we go ahead and post them. And like I said, they may bitch, they may complain, they may whine, but we, the guys who have it on Xbox, are having so much fun. And what we're trying to do, and we tell the fanboys is, "Hey, man, you got to try this out. you're missing out on a lot of stuff. The other day, I sat down and talked to some people about some indie games that I wasn't really into indie games. I was only into playing triple A games. And I said, thank you, thanks to Game Pass, I'm actually learning what indie games are, and I'm actually enjoying more indie games.
So not to devolve the
Yeah,
story beyond what you're saying, but
yeah,
based on what you're saying here,
yeah,
to your point, for
yeah.
those who don't know, there are 7 day 1 releases in Game Pass day 1 in May. 7 of them. And
Oh
most people
dear
don't know that. There
Lord!
are
Wow,
7 day 1 games in Game Pass, just so you guys know.
wow! Look
And
at
here
that.
they
I mean,
are.
oh man.
Here they
Now,
are. They may not be the tip of the spear games, but many of them are games that
uh,
people have been waiting on. Loot River. You guys have heard me love Loot River.
ooh,
It is basically a 2D Souls like,
all right,
but Everborn, if you recall, you're trying to get away from your enemies, and you're using the world, and there's a Tetris kind of a component to it. You
all
saw me
right.
play it. They put a demo out. It was like, it is amazing, and that is day and date Game Pass the third. I'm not
Yep.
sure about Citizen Sleeper. Haven't had too much experience with it, but we all know Trek to Yumi, which is what you're seeing
Check
right
to
here,
Yumi. Yep. Oh man,
right?
that's another exciting news right there. Look at that.
Yeah,
Check to Yumi.
this this hard space ship breaker. You're like the idea is you're a blue collar worker who's just doing their job, trying to make their money and all that. But guess what? You're in space, and your job is to break up all the
Yep.
spaceships that came in.
Yep.
And
Yep.
it's
Yep.
very interesting looking game. I'm looking forward to that as
Yep.
well as of course Sniper Elite 5. If you know the
Oh
Sniper Elite
yes.
series,
Oh,
you know
good,
what's up with that.
good co-op game to play. That's a fun co-op game to play with your friends. Oh
That's
man,
right.
that I mean, my friend and me who share on Xbox. He said, "Hey, Step Release coming out." I said, "Hey man, going out for
Hmm.
Game Pass. Let's go. Let's
Hmm.
rock it. We're gonna
Yep.
play it. We love that
And
game."
even this Pac-Man Museum Plus, people are like, oh well, that's an old game. I
What?
showed this to Mr. Boomstick Excel. He was like, yo, this is the most amazing thing ever. I had this pre-ordered. I gotta cancel it now because it's coming to Game Pass. There's a special version there's a Pac-Man version that's only in the arcade that had a variation on Miss Pac-Man. It'll be part of this collection. Very rare version of the
No
game that will
way.
be
Oh,
part
so wait,
that
wait, wait.
Mr. Boomstick is very excited about.
So
So
wait,
I guess what I'm saying is, it may not all be AAA, but every single month, to your point, Crazy Lou Gaming,
yeah.
this month specifically, they dropping bombs, and because they
Bombs,
know they may not
bombs.
have that version of the Forbidden West, or maybe Elden Ring, or something of that AAA high
Yeah,
caliber tier, but they're like, all right, well, we'll just kill them by deaths of 1,000 cuts, 7 of them at this point.
yeah.
Brand new games, day and day.
Like I said, they have a pretty awesome strategy, and that's what's getting people to say, "Hey, man, let me look at this." Whoa, check! Like for example,
Hmm.
check to Yomi. It's going on Game
Yep.
Pass. What's the price? Let's see what's the price in check to Yomi on the other side. Okay,
Oh,
check.
I think it'll probably be like $30, if not more. I know it's an indie, so they tend to price it a little accordingly, but I think it's at least $30, if I'm not mistaken, if
It
not
probably
more than that.
it probably is
Yeah.
$30 or something. No,
Yeah.
it's gonna be $18. But hey,
Oh,
man.
18. Are you
Oh
serious?
no, oh no, that's on Steam. Wait, my man. Steam has a 10% off on it
Wow.
already. Oh wow, that's
That's
big.
a crazy discount. That's amazing. $18 for that. That's amazing to me.
They
Anyway,
already got a
okay.
discount. Yeah,
Okay.
it says here
Okay.
it's $20 for Tector Yomi.
Yeah.
But still, we're saving that $20 from there. And Sniper Elite is
Yep.
60. We're saving 60 right there. And like
Yep.
I said,
Yep.
when you look at it that way, you're like, whoa, I'm gonna play this game and save money. But now here's the best part about it. That if you want it in your collection, what do?
You
You
just
wait
buy
for a
it.
while.
Yeah.
You wait for a while to lower its price. Also with the Game Pass discount, boom, you
Mm-hmm.
buy it, it's in your
100%.
collection.
There you
So
go.
you
No
save
issues at all. Yeah.
yeah.
Now, Everborn, I know you wanted to talk about this before we go, so we'll go ahead and chop it up for a little bit. I
Yeah.
put this under the category of duh. Like, when I saw this potentially being a news story, I was like, this is the perfect analogy for Twitter, right? Those out there in the Twitter streets fighting the good, well, you call them the good fight, but they're fighting their console warrior fight. Oh, PlayStation doesn't do this. Oh, Xbox doesn't do that. When the massive audience are completely different than what you think, right?
Right. But
98% are the quiet majority who just go, yep, that's where my bread is buttered. we see what was happening in this space, and now we've been saved. So we're happy about
and 0.6% of them work for Bloomberg. Listen, here's the thing,
it.
right? It is not necessarily about this vote, and I did not expect it to be. I said this to you. I know it makes logical sense that the shareholders would vote in favor of this. I would vote in favor of it. However, and I might have some Activision stock. I'm not sure. But
I definitely do have Activision stock. They sent me an email to cast my vote before the vote happened.
Right. Fun fact, I actually work for a firm that handles those votes.
Right? Interesting.
Yeah, so it's a long story, but where I work, there's an application called Virtual Shareholder Meeting where you not that we get to look at this data or anything like that. It's all
but you basically facilitate that application.
The voting. Anyway, that being said, there was an article that made the rounds very conveniently on the day of this vote, almost as though they knew this news was going to come out about the vote, and they wanted to take advantage of that. So they wrote sort of a hit piece article, and we will not name any names here.
Oh, boy.
Jason. But the thing is, the title of this article.
Did I just hear my best friend's name around there? I heard somebody.
Well, what's your best friend's last name?
Some Schreier or something. I think I heard.
Okay, yeah. But anyway, there was a
clickbait headline recently, by the way.
Right.
Continue. Go ahead.
A Kotaku level headline, right? That says Wall Street is betting against the deal because it is the stock is trading at about $76 and some change, which is 25% below the offer price of $95. And so they did the most basic math and said, hey, if you know this stock is going to be worth $95 a share, why isn't it trading at or near $95 a share? Which I could forgive you if you didn't work for a financial organization for making a gross generalization like that. But you do work for a financial organization. You do work for a financial services firm that is Bloomberg. Now, if Wall Street was betting against the Activision Blizzard deal, you know what they'd be doing? They'd be shorting the stock. Like that movie, The Big Short? Right?
Indeed.
Right? Because they know if the deal does not go through, the stock will tank. So you can make a ton of money by the stock tanking because they'll have to basically pay you what the stock is worth today versus what it is when it goes down tomorrow. Right? But what is happening is, and Hogue Law did a great video about this, but what the writer of this article, or the headline writer, because sometimes we all know the person who writes the article is not.
Yeah, the editors tend to be also the headline writers.
Right. So, but again, it doesn't take into account the time factor of money, right? So if I'm an investor and I'm saying, I know that there's an Activision deal that's going to happen, I'm going to buy this stock at a certain price because I know I'll get $95 a share. Here's the problem. You are not going to get paid that $95 a share for a year from now. So what can you do with that money between now and a year from now? And based on what you can do with that money in the interim, that will dictate what your risk tolerance is of what you're going to put into that stock. So maybe it's only trading at $77 now because it tipped up higher once the votes went through. Also, Wall Street is comprised of, believe it or not, Activision shareholders in some part, right? And 98% of them wanted the deal to go through. So you're not going to buy it now, probably because you're thinking, I'm not going to get that return on investment for a year from now, and I can make more money on other shifts in the market between now and a year from now. So since we're a year out, since there are hurdles that need to be passed, your tolerance level is $77. But as we get closer to the date, then maybe your tolerance level goes up to 80, and then 85, and then 90, and 91, all the way up as we get closer. That's just basic shite. Right? And people keep using, I see this all the time. People keep using like grade school arithmetic to solve calculus problems. All because it suits this sort of narrative that they already had, right? And things like that, like if it's Kotaku, cool, I get it. Get your money. Use what you got to get what you want, right? Like a stripper, right?
He said like a stripper,
right? But if you work for Bloomberg, you shouldn't be doing stuff like that.
Yeah, you should be more respectful. Yeah, understood. Go ahead.
Responsible, not respectful. You don't have to respect
anybody. Yes, responsible. Yes, you're right.
Sometimes I feel like people just, I think I see people that are blind, or are they deaf, or I don't know what the heck is going on with people. Because seriously, guys, have you not noticed what's been going on a year before? Don't you think these stockholders just want to be like, hey, yes, go ahead and buy it, take it, go. I mean, guys, look what's happening. There's a couple things that's been happening in Activision Blizzard, right? We got, first things first, they were at the peak of their technology. They needed to invest in new tech. That's one thing, right? And we all know this man was not going to invest, because for him to invest is going to cost him a lot of money and stuff like that. They were already at their peak. They said, like their engine, they took all the juice out. That's the most they're going to take of that engine out, right? So he needed to invest on that, because there's an interview about it where he mentions it. That's one thing. Right? Another thing, which is the worst part of everything that's been going on. All this things that have been happening, legal issues that have been happening over there, sexual harassments, all that stuff that's been going on. So why do you guys write an article thinking like, hey man, stockholders won't say yes to this buy? Why would you write about that? Because they know that if they say no, it's going down for them, down for the sink. It can go down for the sink. I mean, I'll be honest with you. The way that Activision was going in Blizzard, I said in my head, in 2 years, it's going to be worth nothing. Somebody just may come and buy, and that's it. They're going to lose all their employees. They're going to lose all their stuff. Call of Duty's not going to be the same. You got all that stuff. So why? I don't see why do they always want to make all these arguments,
Right. You really got to look at it. And Pixel, you are right. We were talking about this a few hours before Hoag's video dropped. But you are correct in everything you said, Lou. But you have to look at these. Wall Street doesn't care about the quality of video games, right?
I know that.
You care about the bottom line. What's going to make you money?
That's what make you money.
I'm just saying, in terms of the money aspect, I just think it was an irresponsible headline from someone who.
Well, but you know what? Let me throw something at you, Everboard. Because although I agree with you, and I think we're all in aggressive agreement on this topic on this show right now, but I will say that the pump was primed a little bit beforehand, because although we know why the shares went down as low as they did, and obviously the situation that happened with that company, with Activision Blizzard as a whole, that is it has been famously documented, right? We all know why it started falling off a cliff, right? Mm-hmm. But it seems like somewhere along those lines, some of the big money men, and by some I mean that 2%, or not even a percentage, 0.6%. Yeah, they think that even though the company who they have invested their money in, who now clearly in hindsight may have been a bad idea because Kotick was doing what Kotick was doing, and in turn making their investment become less, right? They think all that context that got them there is not enough to justify letting Microsoft buy it for the price they bought it. So they wanted to have this idea of, well, we were trading at a good place before Microsoft came and offered us this low ball number, right? Yada yada yada, and everything in the middle that got them to that low number. You know what I'm saying, right? So because that was the frame at which this whole situation started, where they bought this thing. Even the most righteous of journalists, and I'm not talking Schreier, there's been a lot of people talking about, oh, there might be lawsuits. Oh, some of the shareholders will feel like they didn't get their investment justified, right? Because because Kotek approved the deal at the
I
number
mean,
that the stocks were.
he-
The other
here's
thing that
here's another example. Here's another example. Last Call of Duty came out. I think it was less than a month that it came
Mhm.
out. It already got a huge price drop.
Yep, exactly.
When
still,
Yes.
still the number one seller of the
because,
year, but
Yep.
yes.
okay, but again, it got a
No,
huge
you're
price
right.
drop.
Immediately after,
When
yes.
when have you ever seen a Call of Duty game come out and it hasn't even been a month and already got a
Yeah.
huge price up like that? Never.
It
That's
se- it
because of
seems
all.
that people it seems
Yeah.
that people are trying to forget the context at which the
Well,
company finds itself.
yeah.
And Microsoft stepping in, they get to be either, if you are quote unquote butthurt because
Yeah.
your money or your stocks are now not worth what they used to be, you look at Microsoft and you want to make them your scapegoat. You want to sue or whatever. When in actual fact, it was the company itself that was imploding. And what Microsoft did is actually save you some money. Because at the end of the day, had they not stepped in and done what they did to basically stop the bleeding, the shares would
Yes.
probably be trading
Yes.
lower than they are today. You know what I'm saying?
Seriously, it was just going downhill and downhill. Would that Microsoft just said, "Hey, we're going for the acquisition thing."
That's right.
Oh man, everybody's like, "Oh, this is finally a breather." We got a breather.
Exactly.
They
Yes.
finally got a breather because it was just going down and going down and getting worse and getting worse.
So
Developers leaving, all
I
this stuff. Because
honestly think that in
again,
the nature of all of this specific thing
yeah,
with shares and buying and
yeah,
all of that,
yeah.
I think that the nature
Because
of the way the system is set up kind of allows these small 0.6% carnival barkers to actually have a point, because they shouldn't even be allowed to talk about it, since the context does matter so much.
because here's something that people forget, and people need to understand this. I mean, if I'm a shareholder of that company, I want the people that are working in that company, I want them to be happy. I want them to be excited. I want them to be that they can go in and work and complete their job, because
When they succeed, you succeed.
Yeah, exactly. When they get once they finish the game, I want them to be happy and be like, "Hey, man, they did the game. They did a good job. Now I'm getting my money back." That's what I want. I first think about the people and everything, and then whatever comes next. But everybody was just being mad. There was a bad situation, losses going in there, and all that stuff. Things were just going downhill. I even said, if this man keeps in charge of this, in 2 years, Call of Duty, Activision Blizzard
It's done. Yeah, it's going to be done for sure. Exactly. Exactly.
That's how long it would have lasted.
And see, you understand that context. So if all of a sudden you happen to have invested in them a long time ago, and at some point their stock was trading in high hundreds, and you were all happy, and now all of a sudden it's trading at $56 or whatever, you at least know, all right, well, the CEO and the company culture and all of the lawsuits and all of the bad behavior, that kind of screwed the pooch. So Microsoft saved us. So now I get to at least get $75. It's better than where it would have fallen had Microsoft not come and saved them, right? But it seems like a lot of those people are forgetting that factor in the equation.
And not only that, there's an article on November 17, 2021. Group of Activision Blizzard shareholders joins call for CEO Bobby Kotick's resignation. They were asking for him to leave.
That's right.
I'm telling you, if it would have stayed there, I mean, again, in 2 years, all of that would have been
so I guess the main point I'm making about all this is, although I agree wholeheartedly with all of your assertions that the article that came out from Schreier was less than great, and I think our issues with his method have been well documented, so we're not going to go in deep here. But I think the reason why probably the Bloomberg overlords were more like, yeah, go ahead and put that out there, is because other journalistic entities made this whole idea that, oh, these shareholders might have a reason to sue. Oh, they may feel like they didn't get their value. Those other journalistic entities that made that that made that news big gave rise to that option in the minds of people's brains that, oh, maybe this might not go through. Oh, maybe it might be worth the idea of looking into this because, come on, that's what they're saying, right? They didn't get the money they deserve. Because that context was successfully removed from it, everyone can look around and go, well, maybe it's serious. Hey, well, maybe what Senator Warren is saying has some merit.
Yeah.
Whatsoever.
And not only that, I was gonna get into that. Not only that, also the politics got into it. I was like, what the? I mean, I was like, oh Lord.
I genuinely think that because the people the news entities that are providing you that information want to provide you the information based on what you want to hear rather than what you need to know.
Yeah.
Right? You need to know what the FTC looks at when they're deliberating about these mergers. You need to know what they're looking at. But the news environment is not telling you what you need to know. They're telling you what you want to hear. Oh, will they succeed? Oh, won't they succeed? Will there be somebody that'll sue them?
Yeah,
that's right. And because of that, they lose the context of the logistics that you need to know to make that informed decision. And when you don't have that context, then all of a sudden, what the senators are saying, or that's the 2% of the, or 0.6% of the people say no, all that becomes level playing field as the truth because no one's filled in that truth yet. You know what I mean? So it seems.
Because what I find funny is that, again, I say this, people are probably forgetting or something. When I heard that the senators got in, like, no, probably the workers won't be happy.
Mm-hmm.
That's the first. I mean, if I worked over there with all the stuff going on, and I heard Microsoft bought it, I mean, I would have stripped naked and be like, yeah, oh my God, this whole pain that I've been going through is gonna be over. Now we can sit down and talk to them, pitch out ideas, and be like, hey, I want to do this game. What do you guys think? Hey, oh yeah, why don't you guys get a team and do it? Instead of always Call of Duty, a little bit of World of Warcraft, Call of Duty, which that's what's been happening.
And you know what? To your point, the reason why they would be happy, it's not even in the world where they'd go, oh, Microsoft is so altruistic or they're nice guys. No, they are a big company who spend a lot of time on the image. So if Kotick and Activision Blizzard isn't hearing you, you can put pressure on Microsoft and they'll definitely hear you because they don't want to be perceived as the bad guy. So all of this is good news for consumers, right? You have a new company that will listen to you because they are susceptible to pressure, right?
And most importantly, also like I said, everybody's focused on Microsoft is gonna get all these exclusives. Guys, forget about all that crap. We need to focus on that those people have a better and safe work environment. Those people need to, you got to think about those people that are sitting there, that they work on the content that we sit and enjoy.
That's right.
If we don't think about them, then we're nothing. I mean, we will lose all that stuff and they're going to leave and we will not have any more of those games. So, let's have them be happy. And that's what, every time I read this news, that's what saddens me the most. They only talk about, it will not go through. Oh, I just think for myself, man, what about the people that work there? I wanted to go through so those people can be happy, get a better work environment, and start making the games that the ideas they have or something. Maybe like there's a jewel out there that needs to be brought back or something, it's a way to make them move and make them work in a better, safe work environment, happy. And it's just happy to go there to work, man. Seriously, we need that to happen again because, like I said, it was all going down here. Lawsuit after lawsuit, all this stuff going on. People were mad. People were, resigning. People were quitting. Guys, thank God that I do again hope this goes through because really for me, first things first, I want the people to be happy, and then I want all the games they had to come in over here. Yeah, that's cool. That's awesome to come back. And also to bring old IPs. You got StarCraft, you got World of Warcraft that needs to be worked on. You remember World of Warcraft 20 years ago? It was such a huge thing, and they have let it die with all this competition. They need to bring all that stuff back so we can all have our games. So how do you have that? Having the work environment safe for the people to make those games. So guys.
Well put. Absolutely well put. I think you know what? that is where we should leave the conversation
Yeah.
because honestly, I don't think it could be even better said than that.
Yeah.
I genuinely think that you're absolutely right. Uh, and to that point, on your to your you being right, I hope that we on this show and the various shows you watch and the shows you
Yeah.
watch in this community, I hope that you take away, and by you I mean the viewer that happened to be watching this, the folks in the chat, the person who happens to be listening. We appreciate you being here
Yeah.
and taking part in this. I hope you hear this stuff and it teaches you that the context matters because it seems like those media entities that are supposed to be providing you that data you need, they remove certain things for their own benefit, and because of that, it
Yep.
presents the wrong picture. So
Exactly.
then a Schreier article that comes out that says what he said could sound true unless that context was provided to you, and then all of a sudden you go, oh, so they are just lying, trying to get people out of bed, clutching of pearls
Yeah.
when you don't even need any of that because clearly the factors in the equation make this a non-issue, right? So you're absolutely right, Crazy Loop Gaming. I
Yeah.
appreciate you being here and lending your level of intelligence and
Thanks,
basically
man.
logic to the equation because it seems like
Yeah.
logic is lost, right?
Yeah.
Logic seems to be lost from this equation quite often. And I think that's why, Everborn, you wanted to bring this up because it seems like for some reason, simple things seem to get really complicated when you put it out there and expect everyone to just go, oh, yeah, 1 + 1 does equal 2 until somebody comes back to you and go, doesn't it equal 35? And you're just like, what?
Yeah.
What is wrong with you? That's where we are with this. So I think
Yeah.
it's a great conversation, and we'll continue having it because, as you know, before this ABK thing ink dries, and now we're also hearing about all the other potential pickups that might happen. It's always a question of, oh, are they going to be able to do what they're doing while still working on the ABK deal or this and that? It'll be very, very, very interesting to see where all of this shakes out. But you
Yep.
know what? Crazy Lou Gaming, your first appearance on this show was more than a hit, I'd say.
Thank you.
It was a fantastic success. We didn't even have to employ the timeout tools that I was that that Sour Blow Gaming insisted that I bring on board to kind of to put you in your place. No, sir. No, sir. You did a great job. Tell the
Thank you,
fine
man.
people
Again.
where they can find you. Tell them the
Oh.
guests that you're having on the Xbox International podcast.
Oh.
There's some just slanderous craziness going on in your world.
Oh,
Thank
man.
you for being here. Tell us where the fine people can find you.
Well, first off, where you can find me is at Twitter at Crazy Louis Gaming, where I dance and do all crazy stuff and say good morning and have fun and chill out and talk to anybody, any conversation you guys want to have. Happy to sit down and talk to you all. Seriously, just go over there, watch all my funny and cool videos. Also, you can find me at Cyberblow Gaming, which each Tuesday, wait, I'll say this in Spanish. You can find me at Cyberblow Gaming, which we do gaming lobby, which todos los martes nosotros hablamos para la comunidad latina. Todo el mundo que es parte por la comunidad latina, nosotros hablamos de los juegos y todo de lo que está pasando en el mundo gaming, en las noticias y todo lo que viene. Así que únanse, Cyberblow Gaming, Gaming Lobby, ya ustedes saben, los martes a las 7 de la noche. Que el canal de YouTube de él es Cyberblow Gaming. Also, you guys can find me in Crazy Louis Gaming YouTube channel, 7 p.m. ET, Xbox International every single Wednesday. You guys can find me there also. And next week, we are having the Sega Man, the one who wants Microsoft to be purchased. We're having the Sega Man, Mr. Everborn Saga next week.
Bars.
Oh, man.
Nice,
Yeah,
nice.
Hey, listen, hey, Lou,
What's
my
up?
wife's gonna love that. She's from the Dominican Republic.
She is?
So
Oh.
the Spanish intro, she'll like that. I'm gonna play that for her later.
All right. She's from Dominican. Tell which part, ask her which part she's at.
Dajabon, right on the border of Haiti.
Dajabon. She's from Dajabon. Oh,
Yes,
man.
sir.
Ooh, Dajabon.
And for those who are sitting here in the chat listening to Crazy Lou talk, or you've seen him on Twitter and you're like, oh, he's fun, he's crazy, he's having a good time with the community. Beyond the fun and games, this man is out here for the people. I see him in the chats all the time. when there's charity streams, I see him donating big cash. He's always out there being a positive influence in this community. So beyond the fun and games and the bathroom scenes, yeah, I see you there, Crazy Lou.
Yeah.
Beyond all of that, he's a great, great, great member in this community,
Thank
and
you,
I
man.
appreciate him being here. I appreciate you
Thank you.
continuing to support as you do. So
Thank
thank you
you.
so much for being
And
here, and
yep.
we'll always want to have you back for
Yep.
sure.
Thank you, Captain Jacob Keys, for having me here, man. I mean, again, Jacob
We,
Keys.
we didn't even talk about the Halo episode, people. We didn't talk about the Halo episode. Oh my God.
We didn't. It was a long, cool show.
It was a cool episode. Yes, yes, it was.
If you want to talk about it, we can talk. We can
Well,
talk about
you
it.
know what? You know what? I will leave this, and Everborn, maybe we'll do this. Let's put a spaces together and have a conversation about the latest episode of Halo. I want to hear what people have to say. I really do. I really do.
I haven't watched it because here's the funny thing though. The missus, I said you got to watch this. So she started watching. She's like, no, I'm gonna watch it with you. So I mean, so I started watching it, right?
Oh, but now she wants to watch it with you. I know how that feels.
But we started watching it and she's in love with it. She's like, man, this series is awesome. She's in love with it. She loves it. And
so yeah, like, we started putting like reviews of these episodes on this show, but I feel like some people don't catch it when we catch it. So I may not want to put the whole spoiler thing out there like that. But if y'all want to have a conversation, maybe later today. Everborn will talk about that. Let's get on Spaces and let's have a spoiler review of the latest version, of the latest episode of Halo, because the latest episode is crazy. Oh my God! Anyway.
Tell me the mean old lady dies, please. Crossing fingers, please.
Oh, I got nothing to say to you, but even if you are a person who does not like this timeline because they go completely left and you don't like it.
I love this timeline. I'm having fun with Halo. I mean, I don't care because I love how people say that it's not like the game. I'm like, have you seen the Sonic movie?
Exactly. It's also not the game.
It's not the game. So it doesn't work well.
And it's still great. Yeah, that's right. Indeed. So, Mr. Everborn Saga, how about you, sir? What are you doing this week? Have you seen the Halo show, the latest episode?
I have, and I don't know why it really bothered me that after they take it, I would have killed the girl with the short hair.
Dude, do not break into spoilers yet. Let's have a spaces later.
I'm not
let's
no
have a spaces later.
But why was she still wearing lipstick after the doctors had seen her and everything, and her hair's all done? It just doesn't make sense to me. It's things like that. But anyway,
yes.
I'm
reading. I am, by the way, just so you know, Everborn, I am reading the new Prince of Arcadia. I'm going through it from scratch. I haven't even started the Redlands yet because I kind of want to read the nice hardcover from scratch. So I'm gonna get to the Redlands probably tomorrow. But great book so far. I'm enjoying the hell out of it.
Thank you, sir.
Tell the fine people where they can keep communication with you.
Well, I will be watching the series finale of Ozark all weekend. But you can find me at Everborn Saga everywhere. If you see me on Xbox, I'm probably playing Elden Ring. And check out everbornsaga.com if you want to get your hands on those great, amazing Everborn Saga books. Everborn Saga on Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, all that jazz. And check me out. You know where to find me. And Mondays on PTG on Boom's channel.
And on that point, Monday's PTG is changing to Wednesday's PTG. For those who are not aware of it, Mr. Boom has been putting it out there for the world to hear. But in case you have not heard, myself and Mr. Everborn Saga, panel members on Primetime Gaming, starting from next week, not this week, next week, you will start seeing us on Wednesdays instead of the aforementioned normal Mondays. And I am going to try and still work on Everborn Saga to hopefully have on the reel on Wednesdays as well. We haven't gotten there yet, but I'm hoping we can do that, Mr. Everborn Saga. Our tradition of public shaming.
And I have also seen Severance. Very good show. Everybody should check that out.
Yes. Indeed. So we'll get back to it. But yes, for my guest, Mr. Crazy Lou Gaming, Mr. Everborn Saga, we really appreciate everybody who happened to pull up this weekend, I should say. For the audio listeners, we appreciate you. Our numbers there are growing exponentially, even without me doing too much work in that regard. But thank you guys so much for listening. Thank you guys for watching, for joining our chats every week. It's always so great. Miss Joanna Dark.
The girls are, the hot girls are in. Oh, we did a good show.
Uh-oh.
When the hot girls come in, we're doing a good show.
Yeah.
The hot box.
You know how they go. You know how they go. Yes.
Yeah. They're doing a good show.
It's about time. It's about time we get out of here because the hot girls just showed up. It is what it is. But yes, for Mr. Crazy Lou Gaming, by the way, whose information will be in the show notes. So if you need to get in contact with him, you need to find out his stuff, his YouTube channel, his podcast, his Twitter handle, everything will be in the show notes. For Mr. Crazy Lou Gaming, for myself and Mr. Everborn Saga, we say thank you so much for watching the show. That's been it for the week. We try to do 2 hours. This week we went 3. This is how we do around here. But until next week, we say have a great weekend and enjoy your games.